So as I was talking about the Indian geography, this is quite important from the prelims perspective, especially the focus of the question is mapping oriented. So less of concepts and more of mapping will be included over here. It is highly recommended that you should see the atlas for a better understanding, and a better preparation would be that you prepare short notes for each of these topics, especially from the mapping perspective. That is, you take some outline maps of India and you give the name of the topics like geographical extent of India, important states, cities, important latitudes and longitudes, important mountains, rivers, important lakes, important vegetation, biome, soil. So all of these can be done with the help of the maps, outline maps. Okay, so if you make these notes on your own, there would be less of content and more of revision, and more you can retrieve those information. So we are going to start with this India's geographical extent. Here a quick analysis of the questions. So here the question says in 2017 there was a question that if you travel from Kohima to Kottayam, minimum how many number of states you will be passing. So the objective of this question, you should be knowing where is Kohima, where is Kottayam, okay, and you should be knowing each of the adjacent states of India. Then in 2015 there was a question which is the easternmost, westernmost state of India. Quite a simple question. States having a coastline, and out of the given states, which state have got maximum number of bordering states. So you should be knowing the states and the bordering states also. So it indicates that you need to have a better understanding of every state of India and the adjacent states also. For this, just to do practice on the outline map of India a couple of times and you will be well versed with it. Here the question is also bordering countries. Okay, certainly UPSC would ask a question, and these are not so difficult questions. Just do the political map couple of times, and on the basis of that you can attempt most of these questions. Again, bordering states of Uttar Pradesh, and the state which is the smallest in terms of area out of the given. They given a map of a union territory, and the question is which union territory it is. Then with respect to the latitude and longitude, they have asked question in 2018 recently. That is the longitude that is closest to that of the Delhi. Which city is closest to that of Delhi on that longitude? Then with respect to latitude, 10-degree channel, that is 10-degree north latitude, which is the 10-degree channel, passes through which island, and they have given a description about a place with respect to the latitude, with respect to the forest cover, with respect to the protected area network, and they have asked a question accordingly. So here again a similar question with respect to the latitude that passes through Sikkim, also passes through which state. So here you need to have a better understanding of maps. Okay, there is no concept as such. We know the latitude and longitude, we have already studied this. In India, the sunlight, okay, the falls on which of the following latitude? The very first day or the very first in the year. Okay, so quite an easy topic. Just let us have a brief idea with respect to India, some factual information. India have the area of 3.28 million square kilometer, 3.28 million square kilometer, and in terms of the world percentage, it occupies 2.4% of the world land. There are some other facts also that you should be knowing. That is percentage of world population living in India, roughly 16 to 17%. Percentage of water, fresh water that we have in India, it's roughly 4%. Okay, so 2.4% of land, 4% of water, 16% of population. So in India, there is a huge stress on land and water because population is quite high. With respect to the India's location, the latitudinal longitudinal extent, latitudinal wise it is 6 degree 45 minute north. Okay, we'll be doing this more precisely. which is the southernmost latitude, northernmost latitude, and the northernmost latitude is a bit controversial for the world, not for the India, because of the POK. Okay, the westernmost, easternmost, that is not disputed. Here, with respect to the the Indian subcontinent, what do we call Indian subcontinent as? This was actually a mains question. What is this Indian subcontinent? So Indian subcontinent includes not only India but other countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. Okay, these countries. So it extends from this Hindu Kush in the Afghanistan till Purvanchal in the eastern part of the India. So this entire region belongs to the Indian subcontinent. Okay, so let us quickly go through this topic and get hold of some of the questions that UPSC have asked. The geographical extent of India. Okay, do the outline map of India, political map of India. Do it in level. Level 1 is know the states and the bordering states, because many times students get confused, and that is where the UPSC is going to ask question. For example, Odisha is bordering Telangana or not? Okay, Chhattisgarh is bordering Andhra Pradesh or not? These are very close ones. Then Chhattisgarh is bordering Uttar Pradesh or not? Right, so these are very like close area wherein students bound to get confused. So practice it 3-4 lines in the blank outline maps. Having done the states, okay, proceed ahead with the capital, each of these capital. Okay, having done the capital, then important cities, because UPSC have asked question not only on capital and the states but important cities also. Okay, so this is quite an easy question. Which one of the following pair of the state of the India indicates the easternmost state of India is Arunachal, westernmost is Rajasthan or Gujarat? Yes, it is Gujarat. So easternmost is Arunachal Pradesh and westernmost is Gujarat. Okay, quite a simple question. Then here, how many states share the coastline? So the coastline sharing states is Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, then Odisha, West Bengal. Okay, so how many are these? These are 9. Okay, then the question is, if you travel from Kohima to Kottayam, what is the minimum number of states? So where is this Kohima? Kohima is the capital of Nagaland, and Kottayam is an important place in Kerala. It's not the capital, it's an important place in Kerala. So if you travel between these two cities, how many minimum number of states that you can go through? So Kohima, that is Nagaland, including the the origin and the destination state. So Nagaland, followed by Assam, then West Bengal, then this is Odisha, then this is Andhra Pradesh. Then over here you have two options. You can go from Karnataka to Kerala or Tamil Nadu to Kerala. Okay, so it have said minimum number of states. It can be more also, but we don't need to if you go with the maximum number of states, so you can cover the whole of India, isn't it? So it have asked minimum, so you should be knowing all of these adjacent places. With respect to the latitudinal extent, over here we know that this whole region is Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh region. Now this part of India is occupied by Pakistan, some part is occupied by China. So it is our territory occupied by these countries. So definitely our extent is up till the topmost point. Our extent is up to the topmost point, but the problem is we are not able to do the administration in those regions. So as such, if I say which is is Afghanistan bordering state of India or country of India or not? Yes, Afghanistan is a bordering country, but it is not accessible because of POK. Okay. So latitudinal and longitudinal extent. So latitude wise 6 degree 45 minute north, that is the southernmost point of the Andaman Nicobar, that is the Indira point, and the northernmost point is 37 degrees 6 minute north. 37 degrees 6 minute. It's not 35. 35 is like claimed by the Pakistan. Okay, but it is 37 degree, northernmost extent of India. On the mainland, it is 8 degree 4 minute. Okay, southernmost extent of India 6 degree 45, but on the mainland 8 degree 4 minutes north. Westernmost extent 68 degree 7 minute, and the easternmost is 97 degree 25 minute east. So we know, and we have studied in this in the solar system, that is, as the earth rotates from west to east, or they rotate from west to east. So eastern region will be receiving the sunlight first, isn't it? The eastern region. So the first sunlight on India will fall on 97 degree 25 minute east longitude, isn't it? The first sunlight will fall, and from 97 degree it will come to 68 degree. So this distance is 30 degree distance, 30 degree in terms of longitude, roughly. And for 360 degree of rotation, 24 hours is taken. So for 30 degree rotation, it will take 2 hours. So when the sunlight falls over here, after 2 hours, the sunlight will fall here. I hope you are getting this. Okay, so we had discussed this, that ideally India should have 2 different time zones, but we have considered 1 time zone only. Okay, and that is the Indian Standard Time, passing through 82.5 degree east longitude. A very important latitude is Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer passes through 8 states of India, that is Gujarat, Rajasthan. See, Rajasthan also. A small portion, but even Rajasthan is there. And Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. Okay. So it passes through these states. Now, having done the states, now can you see UPSC have asked a question, among the following cities, which one is nearest to the Tropic of Cancer? So here it haven't asked question on state. Here these are cities, and these are not just capital, these are like Jodhpur, Nagpur, these are not capital cities. Okay, so you should be knowing the closest city also lying on the Tropic of Cancer. Okay, as per this question, the answer is Kolkata. Okay, now here the question is the latitude that passes through Sikkim also passes through. So you like in these type of question, these are not just old question, they are being asked in the recent year also. So the latitude that passes through Sikkim, so you consider Sikkim. Okay, you consider Sikkim. So it haven't said the southernmost part of Sikkim or northernmost part of the Sikkim. So here in this case, consider the Sikkim. So the states can be Arunachal Pradesh, Assam here on the east, and here on the west can it be a bit of Bihar, then of course Uttar Pradesh, then even Delhi, even Rajasthan. So at least these states are there: Rajasthan, Haryana. Okay, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, the northwest part of the Bihar, then even Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. So these are those states. Okay, and if we look into the options now, initially it seems these are so childish kind of question, but when you actually go and attempt these questions, it will be like kind of nightmare. Okay, because Sikkim, these states, but now you start wondering the latitudes. Okay, so here the answer would be the closest answer. Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, they are far north. Okay, Rajasthan is the correct option here. I hope we got this question. So you cannot look into every state and every other state latitude wise. Okay, what can be done is look into the question and then go and prepare. So do the reverse engineering and accordingly like have a look upon the other important states. Now here Indian Standard Time, as I was talking about, is 82.5 degree east longitude, and states through which it is passing, that is Uttar Pradesh, and the Mirzapur is considered as the ideal location for that. Then Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. Now again here do important cities. Okay, do important cities, because so far UPSC haven't asked question on Indian Standard Time. Okay, but they have asked question on the other aspects, like among the cities, which one of the following lies on the longitude closest to that of the Delhi? Most of you must have solved this question. So as per this question, the answer is Bengaluru, but keep a atlas in front of you and take a scale and see the longitude accordingly of each, not just Bangalore but each of the other cities. Okay, because similar type of question was asked previously. A very important latitude, that is 10-degree channel, which is a 10-degree north latitude. So it passes between Andaman and Nicobar. So it is the Andaman and Nicobar. In this case, 10-degree channel passes through Andaman and Nicobar. So likewise, for the other options, look in for Nicobar and Sumatra, Maldives and Lakshadweep, look for the Sumatra and Java, and write something on these options also, whether there is any channel passing through it. Okay, or if not any channel, what is the latitude which divides these two islands? Okay, now here in 2018, this question had come because Barren Island had become active in that year, and we had studied this in geomorphology, in volcanism. That is, India's only active volcanic mountain is Barren Island. Okay, and it became active recently in 2018. If we look into the Barren Island, so you can see over here, this is the Andaman and the Nicobar is below. In Andaman, it is North Andaman, South Andaman, okay, then Little Andaman, North Andaman, Middle Andaman, South Andaman, and the Little. Okay, so North, Middle, South, and Little. And look into the location of the Barren Island. It is located much to the east of, you can say, Middle Andaman. Okay, and what is the question? The question is, Barren Island volcano is an active volcano located in Indian territory. Yes, it is a part of the Indian territory. Second, Barren Island lies about 140 km east of Great Nicobar. See, this data, 140 km, it is not expected from anyone to know about this data. It is not even needed. But here is the hint. Great Nicobar, it is not to the east of Nicobar, it is to the east of Andaman. Even if you do not know whether it is Middle Andaman or South Andaman, at least this much should be known, that it is to the east of Andaman. The last time Barren Island became active, or Barren Island volcano erupted, was in 1991, and it has remained inactive since then. See, the reason for this question to be asked in 2018 was it was there in the news because it became active that year. Okay, so third statement is wrong. Now with respect to Lakshadweep, the capital of Lakshadweep, Kavaratti. Okay, and over here, can you see the 9-degree channel? So 9-degree channel is in this Lakshadweep island, group of islands, and it separates, you can say, Kavaratti with Minicoy. So similarly, do also 8-degree channel. So 8-degree channel will be somewhere below. Yes, and see which two region it divides. Okay, with respect to the bordering countries, you must be knowing the bordering countries of India, that is Pakistan, then Afghanistan also, China, then Nepal, Bhutan, then Myanmar, Bangladesh. Okay, these are the direct bordering countries. We also have another country, that is Sri Lanka, okay, separated by this Gulf of Mannar. Okay, so with respect to the India's geographical extent, this much should be sufficient for you all. Now, having done this, at times UPSC asks disputed questions related to the disputed territory. Last year they had asked question on a disputed island, okay, which is in the East Sea. Okay, so here similarly, with respect to the Sir Creek, which is a disputed region between India and Pakistan, and it lies in this Gulf of Kutch region. No, it is between the it is in the Kutch region, not Gulf, the Kutch region basically. Okay, so likewise the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, China occupied Kashmir, Siachen. They've asked question related to the Siachen recently. The location of the Siachen they had asked. Okay, so Siachen and the respective regions were given, like Nubra Valley and Gilgit and Aksai Chin, and these places were given, and they had asked it is located in which direction of these places. Okay, even Leh was the option. Okay, so it is very, very important that you should do the mapping very, very thoroughly. Okay, let us proceed ahead with another important topic, that is the India's physiography. Now, Indian physiography is more important. Physiography includes mountain, plateau, plains. It will also include rivers, but for the river we'll take another topic, another PPT. Okay, so we have already covered geomorphology, and geomorphology we did quite exhaustively, and I hope most of the concepts of the geomorphology is clear, because over here it's not the concept, it is mainly the mapping that we are going to focus. So with respect to the Indian physiography, let us first do the analysis of the question quickly. Doing the analysis of the question makes the topic very, very simple, and you know the right approach for that topic. So in the Indian physiography, they have asked question on Himalaya. Himalaya is favorite area of UPSC. Himalayan mountain ranges, Himalayan mountain peaks, Himalayan glaciers, Himalayan rivers, and Himalayan vegetation. And also some important species of animals or birds. Very, very important. So do Himalaya from these 6 aspects. Okay, Himalayan mountain ranges, Himalayan mountain peaks, glaciers, then rivers, Himalayan vegetation or biomes, and Himalayan animal or wildlife. Okay, wildlife it can be birds, it can be animals. Okay, because of global warming, since Himalaya is considered as a third pole, Himalaya have huge concentration of the ice and the glaciers, but because of global warming these are melting, and it is a big cause of concern. Okay, for the wildlife, for the human existence, because many river flows from Himalayas which are perennial in nature, and if the glacier melts away, these rivers will become seasonal, and it is going to be impacting close to 1 billion population dependent upon these rivers, not just in India but in Pakistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, all of these, even Myanmar, because the rivers originating from the Himalayas not only flow into India but these Himalayan countries. Okay, so it is very, very important that you should do Himalaya very nicely. Okay, now if we proceed ahead, so they have asked question related to Himalaya. So this is the regional division of the Himalaya: Garhwal Himalaya, Kumaon Himalaya, Sikkim Himalaya. And here this question was asked in 2022, and a similar type of question was asked very long ago, that is again Assam Himalaya, Kumaon Himalaya, Nepal Himalaya, Punjab Himalaya. So basically they've asked a kind of a repeated question. Now this is the question that I was discussing. Siachen Glacier is located or situated where, to which direction of each of these places. Okay, of course one is correct and the rest is wrong, and we'll try to rectify this the wrong options. Then with respect to the Himalaya, features of the Himalayan mountain ranges, one question on pass, Himalayan pass. Last 20 years there was only one question on Himalayan passes, so there is no need to exhaustively put in a lot of effort in memorizing all these passes. A couple of important passes will be sufficient, and this question was asked because it was there in the news. So only if it is there in the news, then only question related to pass will come. As such, they are not being asked. Then important valleys. Okay, Important valleys, again only one question in last 20 years. So valley and passes are not very important. But peninsular mountains, yes, they have asked question in 2023 with respect to Amarkantak Hill, with respect to Biligiri, Ranjan Hill, Sheshachalam Hill, okay, and with respect to the mountain ranges that they are part of. Okay, now this was a little good question, but it's not absolutely a new question, because Amarkantak Hill, Sheshachalam, these have been asked previously also. And they have asked question on Aravallis, okay, and they have asked question on the mountains, especially the central mountains, okay, Vindhya and Satpura. After Himalayas, Western Ghat is a favorite area of UPSC because of problems related to mining, problems related to deforestation. Okay, there are a lot of endemic species in the Western Ghat, and because of the human activities like deforestation, environmental degradation, wildlife which is very endemic and which is not found anywhere else in the world is dying out. And for the conservation of the Western Ghat, there are certain committees set up, okay, which have given the respective recommendation. So the next question was related to that only, Gadgil committee and Kasturi Ranjan committee. Now they have asked question with respect to the Himalayas spread over how many states, Western Ghats spread over how many states, Pulicat is spread between which two states. Okay. They have asked question related to the Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat, a connecting link between Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. As you know that it's somewhere in the Nilgiri, the Western Ghat, Eastern Ghats meet. But if you see the question number 14, which one of the following hills are found where Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat meet? 2008 question, answer is Nilgiri. Can you see the question number 13 now, which was asked in 2017? From the ecological point of view, which one of the following assume importance in being a good link between Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat? The link between Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat, Nilgiri will quickly come in your mind, but is there any option of Nilgiri? So here the question is recent, and recent topics goes into the depth. I hope you are getting this. So you are not supposed to looking for the new topics. These topics are repeated, but now they are going into the detail of this topic and asking question. This is a miscellaneous question related to the entire mountains. Southern mountains, these are also important. The mountain hills and the respective regions where they are. Okay. Then directly a question on Shivra Hill, which state it is located. Now here is the sequence. They're asking questions related to the sequence from north to south. Okay, so just remember a sequence from north to south, important mountains and mountain ranges. Similar trend of question was also seen in river. Arrange the following river from north to south order. Now with respect to the islands, we have already seen they have asked question on Barren Island and island which is the region which is closest to the Great Nicobar. Okay, so in last 20-21 years, 21 question was asked. So this indicates roughly one question each year they are asking. Okay, so it is time that we should focus on the topic now. So with respect to the formation of India, you do not need to go into the detail, but yes, with respect to the formation, we have already discussed this in the geomorphology. In the geomorphology, that when the the evolution of the Earth took place, with respect to that of formation of different continents, even the Indian plate was created by splitting from the Gondwana and moving to the northeast, hitting the Eurasia somewhere 40 million years ago. Okay, so this journey started like more than 70 million years ago. And do you remember this diagram? We have discussed this diagram previously also, that India was part of the Gondwana somewhere 70 million years. India completely split from the Gondwana land, started its northeast movement, and somewhere 40 million years ago it hits Eurasia, leading to the formation of the Himalayas. But before formation of the Himalaya, as India passed through the this region is this reunion hotspot region. reunion hotspot, wherein the mantle plume led to the formation of the Deccan Plateau over India. So Deccan Plateau was formed much before Himalaya, and much before Deccan Plateau, that is when the India was still part of Gondwana land, Aravalis were formed. So if you look into the chronology of the formation, Aravali, followed by Deccan Plateau, after that Himalayas, okay, after that the northern plains, that is the Indo-Gangetic plains, were formed after Himalayas. Okay, so this geological evolution is not asked in the prelims. These are mainly the mains oriented. We have just understood what is the Indian subcontinent, which includes region from the Hindu Kush to Purvanchal, including countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. Okay, and it also includes Sri Lanka. Okay, so this was quite discussed in the news 2 years ago, wherein you must have heard about this term Akhand Bharat. Okay, so that is the Indian subcontinent basically, and UPSC had asked question from current, reference was from the current affair, but the depth of the question was from the standard resources. So we'll do each of these regions, that is we'll do Himalayas, and then the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, some important central mountains also, and likewise we'll proceed ahead with another topic. So Himalayas, we'll do factually. I'll give you the factual information over here. Try to look into the atlas as well. So with respect to the Himalayas, the length of the Himalayas is roughly 2500 kilometer, width is 160 to 400 kilometer. Now Himalaya passes not only through India but other countries also. Okay, so you must be knowing each of these countries through which Himalaya passes. With respect to India, Himalaya passes through 13 states and union territory. 13 states and union territories. So this includes Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, and all the northeastern states except Meghalaya. Okay, except the Meghalaya. See, Meghalaya, if you consider that Meghalayan plateau, the Shillong plateau, is basically part of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, but in some text it is also written that Himalaya, some part of the Himalaya is also included in the Meghalaya. Okay, so always follows the NCERT wherever there is controversy, of such kind. Now here in the case of the Himalayas is parallel mountain ranges, 3 parallel mountain ranges: Greater Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, and the Outer Himalayas, also known as the Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik ranges. Okay, Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik ranges. The north of the Himalayas, that is the Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar ranges, these are considered as Trans-Himalayas. They are not part of the Himalaya, they are to the north of it. Okay, so if you take Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik, so Himadri average height is 6000, Himachal is 3700 to 4500, and Shivalik is 900 to 1100. Okay, so there are 3 parallel mountain ranges of varying height, and with difference in the altitude, there would be difference in the temperature, and difference in the rainfall, and accordingly difference in vegetation. Okay, so in each of these regions you will have a different set of vegetations. If we look into we have just seen that it is 160 to 400 kilometers. So 160 to 400 kilometers. So we look in the west of the Himalaya, which is narrow. East of the Himalaya is broader. West of the Himalaya is taller. East of the Himalaya is relatively shorter, but east of the Himalaya is uplifting at a faster rate. So in future the East Himalaya may become more taller. So why this upliftment is of the east is more faster? Just try to understand from this diagram that as India hit, as you can see here, that as India hit the Eurasia, as India hit the Eurasia. So it is the like Pamir knot, this point wherein it hit first, and after that, like a door, it is closing, like a door, it is closing. So it had hit in the west first, and east it is closing. Okay, so the upliftment in the east is still happening. Upliftment in the east is still happening. When the upliftment is happening, there will be seismic activities, right? There will be landslides, there will be earthquakes. Okay, so the East Himalayas is more prone to landslides because of this seismicity. Okay, because of this upliftment. Okay, and it is there in the news almost every year. Okay, if we look into the Himalayas, and if we compare West Himalaya versus East Himalaya, see, the Himalayas is, bent, syntaxial bending is there, the West Himalaya and the East Himalaya. So if we compare the West Himalaya with respect to that of the coast, it is far away from the coast, and the east is relatively closer to that of the coast. Okay, when it is far away, so in that case, the snow line is much lower, that is, more of the mountain is covered by snow, since it is close to the coastal area. So temperature do not falls very low. Okay, temperature is relatively high, plus there is a high rainfall at the foothills of the Himalayas because of the Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon. Okay, so the temperature increases in the foothills of the Himalayas, so the snow is not very thick, it is relatively like much less, and the snow line is much above. Okay, West versus East Himalaya you should be comparing, because there are questions related to the vegetation found in the West Himalaya and the East Himalayas. Okay, if we look into the Himalayas, if we look into this diagram, from north to the south, so Tibet, Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, Greater Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, Outer Himalaya, then the Indian Plain, the Great Indian Plain, or also the Indo-Gangetic Plain, then Vindhya, then Satpura, Western Ghats, Nilgiri, okay, and then the Indian Ocean. Okay, Indian Ocean. So you must be knowing this sequence. Okay, similarly, if we look into the India from south, so from the south we can see west and east. So from west to east, we saw this from the north to south, and now this is from west to east. So in the west we have Arabian Sea, then the western coastal plain, Western Ghat, Deccan Plateau region, Eastern Ghat, Eastern coastal plain, and Bay of Bengal. Can you notice Arabian Sea is more deeper, Bay of Bengal is relatively shallow, Western Ghat is taller, Eastern Ghat is relatively shorter, Western coastal plain is narrow, Eastern coastal plain is wider. Yes or no? And India seems more tilted towards the east. So definitely when the river is originating, it is going to flow in the east. Any river originating on the east or the Western Ghat is going to flow in the east. Okay, so this is like kind of analytical preparation. Okay, too much information from the atlas will definitely confuse you. So, plot these information on a piece of paper and try to simplify it. So, Himalaya, the regional division of the Himalayas. Now, so this is the Pamir knot where it had hit the first, and from there several full mountain ranges originates. Hindu Kush goes into Afghanistan, majority of the Afghanistan region, then Suleiman Kirtar mountain range in Pakistan, then Kunlun Shan in China, then the parallel trans-Himalayan mountain range Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, then the three Himalayan mountain range, that is the Greater Himalaya, Lesser Himalayas, and the Outer Himalayas. Okay, so let us understand the regional names of the Himalaya. The regional name of the Himalaya is basically demarcated because of the rivers. So because of the rivers, so let us see the Punjab Himalaya, also known as Kashmir Himalaya, also known as the Northwestern Himalaya. Okay, so from the west of the Ravi river, okay, this region is Kashmir or the Punjab Himalaya. between Ravi River and Kali River. Kali River is a tributary of the Ganga, and Ravi River is a tributary of Indus. So this region is known as Himachal Himalaya or Uttaranchal Himalaya or Kumaon Himalaya. Himachal, Uttaranchal or Kumaon Himalayas. Okay. Then this is the Nepal Himalaya, which is mainly in the Nepal. Next is the region between Teesta and this is the Brahmaputra River. This is Arunachal Himalaya, also known as Assam Himalaya. Arunachal Himalaya, also the Assam Himalaya. Okay, and here this region, this is the Darjeeling Himalaya or the Sikkim Himalaya, Darjeeling or the Sikkim Himalayas. And to the east of Brahmaputra River, this eastern Himalaya, also known as the Purvanchal Himalaya. Okay, also known as the Purvanchal Himalaya. So these regional names, along with that, there are important mountain ranges. Also, there are important mountain peaks. And UPSC had asked one question related to this only. With respect to Nanda Devi, they had asked one question, that Nanda Devi forms part of which Himalaya? Okay, Nanda Devi peak forms part of. So Nanda Devi is in Uttarakhand. Okay, and Uttarakhand, this Himalaya is known as is known as the Kumaon Himalaya, or also known as the Uttaranchal Himalaya, also known as the Himachal Himalaya. So as per this understanding, Nanda Devi peak forms part of Kumaon Himalayas. Okay. Similarly, you could have attempted this 2022 question, Nanda Devi peak forms part of Kumaon Himalaya. This is correct, isn't it? This is correct. Okay. Namcha Barwa is like to the north of the Arunachal Pradesh. Namcha Barwa is actually in China. Okay, Tibet region. So it does not form part of the Garhwal Himalaya. Then Nokrek. Nokrek is part of Nokrek is part of the Meghalayan plateau. Okay, Meghalayan plateau. So that can be also be termed as the Himachal. The Meghalayan plateau, Shillong, not Sikkim. Okay, not Sikkim. So statement 3 is also wrong. Okay, so the correct statement is only 2 over here. Okay, now Siachen Glacier, we'll try to understand this with the help of map. Okay, so if we look into the map, of India, here, so Siachen Glacier is somewhere here. Okay, the Siachen Glacier is somewhere over here. Okay, and this is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which is the Gilgit-Baltistan region. This is the China occupied Kashmir, which is the Aksai Chin, and here is Leh, and here somewhere is Nubra Valley. Okay, Nubra Valley. And if you now look into the question, that is Siachen Glacier is situated to east of Aksai Chin? No, it is to the west of Aksai Chin. East of Leh? No, it is to the north of Leh. North of Gilgit? No, to the east of Gilgit. North of Nubra Valley? Yes. Okay, so 2020 this question was there. And Siachen Glacier, there is one more question on Siachen Glacier. Okay, that question is related to river that originates from Siachen Glacier. A very recent question. Okay. Next question is, when you travel in Himalayas, you will see the following. You will see deep gorges because the mountain ranges are very, very tall. So certainly the gorges would be very, very deep. Okay, because the river would be doing the vertical downward erosion, making the gorges very, very deep. U-turn river courses, because of bending of the Himalayas, the river takes a U-turn course. Okay, parallel mountain ranges, yes. Steep gradient causing landslide, yes. Okay, so all of these features can be seen. As I said, passes and the valleys need not be focused much. what you can focus is on the peninsular mountains. Now this is a table from the NCERT, 11th standard NCERT, India Physical Environment. What they have given is the regional division of the Himalayas, okay, and facts like which mountains is there, lakes, glacier, river, pass, dune or dwar, tribe and tourist places in that region. So you should make this table of whatever is there in the NCERT, and whatever is a missing information you can definitely fill it by directly looking into the internet. Okay, so this one table will help you with a better picture of the entire regional division of the Himalayas. Important mountains, everything is there, all the parameters that is necessary for the exam, everything is there. We look into the Indian Peninsula now. This Indian Peninsula region is relatively more rigid, more stable. Himalaya upliftment is still happening, so it is not stable. Okay, seismicity is very high. The Indian Peninsula region includes several important mountains, plateaus, even the plain regions. So we'll look into each of these areas. Like it have mountain ranges like Aravallis, Vindhya, Satpura, Deccan Plateau, Western and the Eastern Ghat, okay, and Central Plateau region, okay, and their extension. So we'll look into the factual information of each of these. As I had said, Aravalli was formed much before the formation of that of the Himalayas, or much before the India started its separation from the Gondwana land. This Aravalli formation had already taken place. Okay, so India got separated from the Gondwana land somewhere 70 million years ago, and Aravalli was formed 400 million years ago. Aravalli is a fold mountain. It is a fold mountain which is formed because of continent-continent convergence. Okay, do you remember we had studied about continent-continent convergence and leads to the formation of fold mountains? Example we studied was Alps mountain and Himalayas. Aravalli is also formed in a similar manner, but presently no further convergence is taking place. Okay, so which two continents had converged? That time Marwar Craton and Bundelkhand Craton, they too had converged, leading to the formation of the Aravallis. States through which it passes through Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Okay, see, they had asked question related to the states through which Himalaya passes. Okay, can you see this question number 11? In India, Himalayas are spread over 5 states only. This is wrong. They are spread over 13 states and union territories. Western Ghats are spread over 5 states only. Okay, we'll see about the Western Ghat, then we'll solve this question. Okay, so don't you think likewise we should be prepared with the Aravalli and the other important mountain ranges? So Aravalli is spread over Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Length of the Aravalli is roughly 700 km. Important peak is Mount Abu. Okay, and the tallest peak on the Mount Abu is Guru Shikhar Peak. Prelims question, Guru Shikhar Peak. Okay. Important minerals that is found is granite, marble, sandstone, and this granite and marble mining is very prominent in Makrana region of Rajasthan, and it is this marble from this Aravalli range that is used in Taj Mahal and Victoria Palace in Kolkata. Okay, today also mining is very high, and because of that Aravalli, we had seen that to the west of the Aravalli is the desert, Rajasthan desert or Thar desert, okay, which is an extension of the peninsula. So Aravalli prevents the extension of this desert. Aravalli is preventing the extension, but because of the mining activity, the fragmentation of Aravalli is taking place, and now this desert is going to extend to the eastern region also. So that is a major cause of concern. Okay, excessive mining, and it is affecting the climate and the ecological balance because extension of the desert is taking place. It is also responsible for dividing the southwest monsoon, as the southwest monsoon southwest monsoon. Which branch? The Arabian Sea branch passes through this region. Aravalli splits them, okay, into two branches. Okay. All right. So we'll proceed with another set of information now. Vindhya and Satpura, very, very important. Vindhya and Satpura, these are also the important mountains. So Vindhya, you should also see this in the atlas. Okay, in the atlas you must see the location. Okay, here we are doing it factually. So Vindhya and Satpura, so Vindhya is they are fault mountain, Vindhya, and Satpura I am comparing, Vindhyan mountain and the Satpura. Okay, so this is, you consider this is Himalayas, plain, Indian plain, Vindhya, Satpura, Western Ghat. So can you see Satpura is taller as compared to that of Vindhya. Okay, Satpura is relatively taller as compared to Vindhya, but Vindhya is longer. Okay, Vindhya is longer, Satpura is taller. Okay, so here Satpura is more than 1000 km long, passes through Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, UP, Bihar, Chhattisgarh. It goes till Bihar. Starts from Gujarat, goes till Bihar. Okay, height is 300 to 600 meter. Sedimentary rocks are mainly found over here, and a very important peak known as Sadbhavna peak. Sadbhavna peak is also known as Kalumar peak. Okay, it is Madhya Pradesh and 750 meter height, and it acts as a watershed between the Ganga river and the Peninsula rivers. So because of the Vindhya, the Himalayan river is not able to go to the much south of the Himalayas. That is, it is acting as a barrier, a watershed between the rivers of the peninsula and the river of the Himalayas. And it is because of this reason that Himalayan rivers is perennial. They have water throughout the year. Peninsula rivers are seasonal. They have rainfall. They have water during the rainfall. Okay, so if we do the water interlinking project of Himalayan rivers, which is having surplus water, with the peninsula region, which is having the deficit water, so the water scarcity problem can be minimized. But the physiographical challenges, the mountain ranges like Vindhya and Satpura, makes this ambition very, very challenging. Okay, so Vindhya, the eastward extension of Vindhya is Bhandir and the Kaimur ranges. If you look into the Satpura, so Satpura is basically the 7 folds. Okay, 7 folds. Now here in the case of Satpura, as we have studied, that it is relatively shorter, but it is more taller. So 900 kilometer length, 700 to 1300 meter height, passes through Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh. Okay. So certainly it is shorter, so less number of states. It is longer, so more number of states. Okay, an important peak known as Dhupgarh peak, which is 1350 meter. Okay, important mountains or fold mountains over here: Satmala, Mahadev, Gavilgarh, Maikala. Okay, an important national park, that is the Pench National Park, is also situated in this region. So Pench National Park is the national park on which the Jungle Book was written. Pandav Cave is also located in this region. Nagpur, which is the tiger capital of India, is also in this region. Other important protected areas are Pench, Kanha, Melghat. So this is quite important from the ecological point of view. Okay, because of the important wildlife. Okay, let us proceed with the other mountains of the peninsula. So we have covered Aravalli, Vindhya and Satpura is also covered. Vindhya and Satpura, they join at Amarkantak. Okay, they join at Amarkantak. This is a meeting point of Vindhya and Satpura. Okay, which is at the border of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Okay, so Vindhya and Satpura joins where? At Amarkantak, which is the border place of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. We'll look into these mountains also this is the Western Ghat, the Eastern Ghat, and the important mountains in the peninsula region and some other mountain ranges. Okay, if we look into the Amarkantak, on Amarkantak itself 2-3 questions are there. Amarkantak, important river, that is this is the Narmada river that originate flow in the west. Then there are Son river which flow in the east, north, and it is a tributary of Ganga river, and the east also there is one river, that is Johila. So Amarkantak is very important for the outward radial drainage pattern. So 3 important river originate: Narmada flow in the west, Johila, which is a tributary of Mahanadi, flow in the east, Son, which is a tributary of Ganga, flow in the north. Okay, outward radial drainage pattern. We'll do the Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, and after that we'll do these important mountains. Okay, some important peninsular plateaus is Malwa Plateau, Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand, Chota Nagpur Plateau. Plateaus are very, very important from economy point of view because construction material like marble, granite, all of these can be found, and also important precious minerals like diamond, okay, ruby, sapphire, these can also be found. So from the minerals perspective, okay, other important minerals like iron, then nickel, lead, etc., all of these are found in plateau region. So economically, plateau region are very, very rich. Okay, but exploitation is also very high. Okay, because of that, huge regional differences can be seen. Now, this region, that is the Bundelkhand region, is quite important with respect to that of the recent passage of the interwater, this inter-river linking project of Kain-Betwa, which passes through this Bundelkhand region. Okay, so the Vindhya and Aravalli mountains, they act as a water divide for the southwest monsoon wind. Because of that, this region receives very, very less rainfall, and because of that, this region is mainly prone to drought and crop failures. And to prevent this region from the crop failures, the drought, the government have initiated the Kain-Betwa interlinking project. Okay, some important northeastern plateau, that is the Meghalaya plateau, which is the extension of the Indian peninsula only. Meghalayan plateau, also known as Shillong plateau, mainly have 3 important mountain peaks: Ngaro, Khasi, Jaintia. This is important for coal, iron ore, limestone, uranium, etc. Karbi Anglong, another important plateau in this region. In Deccan region, this region again have important plateaus like the Deccan plateau, the Karnataka plateau, okay, then the Dandakaranya Bastra plateau, then Telangana plateau. So plateaus are very, very important, as I said, economically, because important minerals are found in this region. Okay, Western Ghats now. After that we'll do Eastern Ghat, and lastly we'll do the South mountains in the south. Okay, so Western Ghat. Now Western Ghat is the way we did Himalayas, we'll do the same for the Western Ghat. Western Ghat passes through Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala. Okay, Nilgiri, which is the junction where the Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat meets, is at the tri-junction of Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Okay, Western Ghat is also regionally known by different names. Western Ghat is known as Sahyadri in Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Goa. In Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, it is known as Nilgiri. In Kerala, it is known as Annamalai and Cardamom. Okay, these are the regional names of Western Ghat. Western Ghat, if we see from north to south, the north is narrow, and as you go in the south, it becomes very broad. Okay, it is broad not in the southernmost point, but here, somewhere over here, it is that region where Eastern Ghat is going to come and meet, and this is the Nilgiri region. Okay, So width wise, the north is narrow, south is broader. Height wise, north is shorter and south is taller. North is shorter and south is taller. Okay, the tallest peak of entire Western Ghat. Tallest peak of entire Western Ghat is Anaimudi Peak, which is 2695 meter, which is in Kerala. Okay, it is located in Annamalai Hill. Tallest. So try to remember the tallest peak of Aravali, tallest peak of Vindhya, Satpura, Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat. Okay. So the tallest peak is Anaimudi. If you look into the comparison between Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat, Western Ghat is taller, Eastern Ghat is shorter. So Eastern Ghat is not continuous like Western Ghat. Eastern Ghat is fragmented. Okay. So important mountain ranges is the Armakonda, which is the highest peak also. Then Nallamalai, Palkonda, Javadi. Okay, these are important mountains in the Eastern Ghat. As we know that it is not continuous, so between the gaps in the Eastern Ghat, important major rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri flows, forming delta on the eastern coastal plain. So there are several reasons for the formation of delta on the eastern coastal plain. We know the factors for the formation of the delta. All of these factors are fulfilled or satisfied over here. The Western Ghat and Eastern Ghat meets at Nilgiri, and the highest peak of Nilgiri is Doda Beta. But highest peak of Western Ghat, highest peak of entire Western Ghat is Annamalai Hill. Over that Anaimudi Peak. Okay. So Nilgiri ka tallest peak Doda Beta. Entire Western Ghat ka tallest peak is Anaimudi Peak. Okay. So do not get confused. Indian desert, or also known as the Thar desert. So Thar desert extends in the Pakistan, also in the Sindh region. That is the Thar desert is the underlying structure of this Thar desert is basically an extension of the peninsular plateau only. Okay, desert is very, very important because of there is presence of fossils. When the fossil is there, so it means fossil fuel will be there. Okay, so fossil fuel is discovered, for example, the gas and the petroleum is discovered in this region. Then it is also important for some landforms like mushroom rocks, sand dunes, which keep on shifting because of change in the wind pattern. Then oasis formation. There are some important lakes also. For example, the Lake Sambar Salt, very, very important lake. Now, some important wildlife is located over here. For example, the wild ass, the great Indian bustards, okay, camel. All of these are very important species in this region. So all the major mountains is being covered. Now, as I said, that you should be knowing the important mountains of the southern India, because UPSC had asked question related to this. Okay, question related to this. So you can see in this case, okay, so here in this case, just see Western Ghat and the important mountains on the Western Ghats, that is Nilgiri, Annamalai, Cardamom Hill. Okay, and the eastern side, you see the sequence. You try to memorize this in a sequence. Okay, if you simplify it, it will be like easy for you. Like Varushnad, Palani, Shirumalai, Panchamalai, Shivuroy, Javadi, Sheshachalam, Nagari, Palakonda, then Erra, Nalla, Veli. Take Erra Malai, Nalla Valai and Venukonda. Okay, so try to remember this in a sequence, because we saw one question that was related to sequence. Okay, arrangement of the mountain from north to south order. Okay, so these are like factual things you just need to mug up. Okay, yes, some facts needs to be memorized. You cannot expect UPSC to frame a question paper wherein there is no facts at all. Okay, and for facts, the simplest way to memorize fact is make short notes. Okay, once you make short notes and once you revise couple of times, okay, you will not keep asking the tricks. Okay, because how many tricks will you remember and for how many topics will you remember? Certainly you are going to forget or mix up one trick with the another. Okay, so as far as possible, make less number of tricks. Okay, because there are chances we have seen students getting confused with the tricks also. So here we are going to proceed ahead with the planes. Okay, planes very important, but from agriculture perspective, and economically, if we take economically, planes is not so economical. Why? Because the major activity that is being carried over here is agriculture. So as compared to mining and minerals, agriculture is not that capital intensive. Agriculture do not yield so much of returns. Okay, but still for the food and for the water, plain is a region which is mainly preferred, and it is this region only wherein the cultivation of the crops is taken. This region also hosts a maximum number of population, not only in India but anywhere in the world. So human settlements started along the river valleys, especially in the plain region, because it was easy to fetch water from the rivers. Okay, and for the drinking purpose, for the irrigation purpose. Here, the northern plains of India. See, the northern plains of India, also the Great Indian Plain is like quite wide, 150 to 300 kilometer wider, length around 3200 kilometer length, and depth is like 1000 to 2000 meter. So how were these plain forms? This plain was formed because of the Himalayas. So the river that is originating from the Himalaya. See, the river have very high potential, and taller the mountain, greater is the potential energy. So when the water flows, this potential energy is used to break down the mountains. These broken mountains form a plain. Okay, these rocky area forms a plain known as Bhabar plain. These bigger rocks are further fragmented into smaller rocks. These plains that is being formed is the Tarai plains. These smaller rocks are further fragmented into much smaller grains like sand and silt. Okay, these are then termed as the Bhabar and the Khaddar plains. Bhabar plains and Khaddar plains. Okay, Bangar and Khaddar. So Bhabar plain are those plains which is having big boulders, big rocks. Tarai plains have smaller rocks and pebbles. Then Bangar and Khaddar is mostly basically in the plain region. This is more fertile region. Okay, Bangar is the old alluvial plains, old alluvial soil. Khaddar is new alluvial soil, because Khaddar plains are relatively very close to the rivers, and the frequent rise and fall in the water level also replenish this nearby region with fresh silt deposits. Because of that, the Khaddar plain is most productive, most fertile. And occasionally when there is a flood, and when the water spreads out to the much bigger region, when in this floodplain regions, then those silt depositions also takes place in the much far off area, okay, which is the Bangar region. And the replenishment of the silt is not very regular. It is only when the flood is there. So for most part of the time, the soil will be relatively old. Okay, so that is also a very productive area, but the most productive area is the Khaddar plains. Okay, now in the case of India, it is the Bhabar Khaddar plains which is the most productive. Coastal plains. we have seen western coastal plain and the eastern coastal plain. Western coastal plain is relatively narrow as compared to the eastern coastal plain, but if we look into the detail of the western coastal plain, the north and the south of the western coastal plain is wider, and the middle of the western coastal plain is quite narrow. Okay, the western coastal plain is the western coast is the submergent coast. Yes, the sea level is rising and this coast is submerging. There is no delta formation on the west, and since the western the Arabian Sea, that is very deep, so natural ports are also found over there, and backwater, that is canals, are also mainly seen in the western coastal plains. When it comes to the eastern coastal plain is quite wider, and they are emergent coast. Okay, delta formation takes place on the eastern coastal plain because the river, when it is flowing in this region, the slope is very gentle. The river gets sufficient time for depositing its silt. The silt deposition along the mouth leads to the formation of delta in the eastern coastal plain. Since this is relatively shallow, so artificial ports are there, not the natural ones. The continental shelf region, is up to 500 kilometer. Okay, here the continental shelf is just a few kilometer. Okay, so if you look into the western and the eastern coastal plain, so as India was moving towards the northeastern part, the eastern part of the India, okay, got more tilted towards the sea, and the western part got uplifted, and this fragmentation and the breaking of this western coastal region took place, and it got submerged. Because of that, this region is relatively more deeper as compared to that of the eastern coastal plain region. Last is the islands. We have already seen. Yes, so in the case of islands, we have two set of islands: Andaman Nicobar. Andaman Island, that is Bay of Bengal Island, is 527 islands, and the Ritchie's Lebrianth Island is very important island there. It is also a coral reef. The Andaman and Nicobar, the west of Andaman and Nicobar have coral, the east of Andaman and Nicobar have mangroves. Okay, west have coral, east have mangroves. Then rainfall in this region is mainly convectional rainfall. Even the orographic rainfall is seen, but mainly it is convectional. Then the equatorial vegetation, evergreen forest is found, evergreen forest, deciduous forest, mangroves, and corals. Mangroves on one, coral on the other side. They are not found at the same place. Okay, so it is very important from biodiversity perspective, biodiversity point of view, very important. Okay, and this is formed because of ocean plate convergence. Okay, it is an island arc. It is also some volcanic mountains are also there, some of which are extinct also, dormant also. For example, Narcondam Island, it is dormant. Active is Barren Island. Now the geographical extent is 6 degree to 14 degree north, and in between that Andaman and Nicobar, this 10 degree channel passes. Okay, 10 degree channel passes, and the westernmost extent is 92 degree, easternmost extent is 94 degree east. Okay, these facts needs to be mucked up. Look into couple of number of times and it will be easy, not so difficult. Arabian Sea Island, this is the Lakshadweep Island. 32 islands are there. See, 572 island in Andaman Nicobar, only 32 in Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep Island is there in the news. Okay, so the extent is 8 degree to 12 degree, so 11 degree channel passes in between, and west and eastern is 71 degree to 74 degree east. It is mainly coral island. Okay, it is mainly coral island. It is the atoll corals. Okay, Minicoy is the largest island. Okay, and the eastern coast have mainly pebbles, shingles, cobbles, and boulders. Very important tourist destination. This year it is there in the news. So do this Lakshadweep very nicely. You see where is the capital, where you see the important islands, and you see 11-degree channel which passes through Amini and Kannur. Okay. Okay. So this much should be sufficient for the Indian physiography. Yes, of course. One needs to do the question, okay, especially the question which is like from the present perspective, because there are many factual questions which used to be asked in past. Okay, very facts, very simple also, but these days the difficulty of the question have increased and you cannot expect a very simple straightforward question. Yes, they will be asking question on the same topic, but the question level will be difficult. Okay, proceeding ahead with the drainage system. Drainage system is very, very important because we had seen that with respect to the drainage system, almost every year UPSC is asking one question, almost every year. Okay, and not one question. At times we had seen three questions in 1 year of one topic. Okay, why this topic is quite preferred by UPSC? There is a reason. That reason is India have a shortage of water. Okay, because population is high, so demand is high, and the fresh water availability is not sufficient, not only for the drinking purpose but for the irrigation. Okay, around 85 to 90% of the India's surface and the groundwater is used for irrigation purpose. Okay, so India's agriculture pattern is relatively non-sustainable. Plus monsoon is seasonal in nature, so there is always a plus. Monsoon at times is negatively influenced by factor like El Nino, negative Indian Ocean dipole. Okay, so these factor further create challenge for the availability of the water. So in this context, what is important is water should be conserved. Okay, second issue with respect to the river is pollution of the river. Yes, river pollution is very, very high. Then the algal bloom eutrophication is being seen, and the industrial wastage is directly dumped into the river. Because of that, India have water resource, but this water resource is polluted. River water is fresh water. Okay, but these are polluted, so it becomes very difficult for the human consumption. So for that purpose, government comes up with a lot of policies and expenditure, but most of the time it is seen that these policies are failure. Okay, so it is important that you have to do this topic. Now, what is the nature of question that UPSC is asking from this area? So the nature of the question from this area is mainly again mapping based. Okay, so the question is on the drainage system of the Himalayan rivers. Recently there was question in 2023, Jhelum river, Krishna river, Gandak river. Then question on Indus river. Okay, do you remember I had just talked about the Siachen glacier? Yes, and the river originating from the Siachen glacier. So here is the question. So likewise you're supposed to do other glaciers also. Then can you see the sequence, correct sequence of the rivers from north to south? This question is also there. Then the river passing through the these are the Himalayan rivers that passes through states. So you're supposed to do the states also. Important power projects, these are hydel power projects. Okay, so on which river are they situated, and also you should do in which state they are located. Some basics, 1 or 2 basic related question, but most of the question is mapping based. So the question is Arunachal Pradesh, which all river is there? Teesta river, okay, source, origin of the Teesta river, then tributary of the Teesta river, and the region through which they are passing. Okay, then with respect to the peninsular rivers, again the reservoir and the respective states. So certainly reservoir is mainly on the rivers, so reservoir, river and state, you should do it this way: reservoir and dams and the state. They have asked question on canyon, okay, the Gandikota Canyon. So this is also known as the Grand Canyon of the India, Grand Canyon of India. Okay, so merely a fact based question. Then the river originating in the Eastern Ghat, famous places and the river. Okay, then the tributaries of Godavari, so tributary related question, wetlands and the river. Okay, then some characteristic of the Narmada river. Narmada river pe there is like 2 or 3 more questions. Okay, on Amarkantak we have already seen question that Amarkantak, which river is originating? Narmada river. Waterfall and the river. Okay, important irrigation projects and the states, then the tributary and the main river. So basically if we conclude, question have been asked on the like what dimension the question is being asked. So the question is being asked on origin of the river, okay, origin place, and if it is a Himalayan river, certainly it will originate from some glacier, so the name of the glacier. Secondly, states through which the river is passing. Not only states, I would suggest do the important cities through which the river passes, important cities, not the small village and all. Third is important tributaries of the river. Fourth is the important projects, hydel power projects or important reservoir or important dam on that river. Okay, and like these 4 parameters is like mainly where the 80 to 90% of the question will revolve. And miscellaneously what you can do is important wetland or important protected area on the river. Okay, because like human being, even vegetation, animals, they need water. So these vegetations will grow or flourish mainly in those regions where the river will be passing. Yes or no? Or there is major lakes. Okay, so this protected area also forms part of or a very important dimension of this topic. So you should do it accordingly, and the best way to do this is to plot it, okay, on a piece of paper, each of these rivers and all these 4-5 dimension of each of these rivers, okay, and just mug up couple of times. So the drainage system of India, some terms which students are usually confused with is what is the catchment area, what is the drainage basin, what is the watershed area. So it is the catchment area is that region where the rain will fall, and that area will catch the rain. Okay, that is the catchment area. If that catchment area, certainly the water, when it is being caught in that region, that water will meet some or the other river. Okay, if it is meeting a smaller river, it is a watershed region. If it is meeting the larger river, it is the river basin. Okay, and when this multiple rivers, the tributaries, when they join the bigger river, that entire region would be termed as the drainage basin region. Okay, the drainage water is draining out through those regions, so the term drainage basin. Okay, now rivers are basically classified on the basis of the discharge of the water into the Arabian Sea rivers or the Bay of Bengal rivers, into the size of the catchment area, large rivers, big rivers, or the small rivers, okay, into the origin, Himalayan rivers or the peninsular rivers. So what we had concluded is origin, places, tributaries, important projects, important reservoirs and lakes, dams, and protected area. And this topic will be there in the news for several reasons, like pollution, or if there is flooding in the river, or the river have dried up. This year I am telling you that there is very high chances of question being asked from two rivers. It is not the Indian river, it is the the Middle East river, that is Tigris and Euphrates. Tigris and Euphrates. Okay, so this river is passing through this Mesopotamia region. So please do this two river, because these two river on which the human civilization had taken place 4,000 years ago. Okay, this river, which was the base for the human civilization in that region, have dried. So it is a big problem, big issue. Okay, a river on which civilization have taken place 4,000 years ago, that river have dried up. So certainly it is a cause of concern. Okay, Euphrates and Tigris river. If there is any new projects, or if there is an existing project on which the dispute is there, or if there is a dispute between sharing of the water between the two rivers, for these reasons it will be there in the news. Okay, and if those rivers are there in the news of that particular river, do all these points. So it's very difficult for a student to do every river and all these points. So give first preference to those rivers which is there in the news, because in 2015 when the Brahmaputra river was there in the news, there was question. In 2016 when Teesta river was there in the news, there was question. Likewise, whenever these rivers are there in the news, okay, there are questions. Okay, so how should you do these? Just let us take one or two more basic, and then we'll start with the river. So the drainage pattern on the basis of the shapes is dendritic drainage pattern, as it resembles the dendrons of the nerve. Okay, for example, Ganga trellis, wherein the main river is more of a straight, and the tributaries are joining the main river at a right angle. For example, the Tapi river. Then the rectangular river, the river itself is taking a very sharp right angle turn. For example, Colorado River in USA. And circular or radial drainage pattern, there are two, outward and inward. Outward is the river is originating outwards. For example, Amarkantak Hill, wherein the river is originating like Narmada, Son and Johila. And the inward radial drainage pattern, where the river they feed the water in this lake, or it can be a big small sea also, for example the Caspian Sea. Okay, in case of India, this inward drainage pattern on a smaller scale is found in Ladakh region. Then on the basis of the flow, the rivers are classified as consequent river, subsequent river, insequent river. Okay, so consequent river are those rivers, that is, if this is a slope and the river flows along the slope, the river flow as a consequences of the slope. And if the slope changes like this, and if the river also start flowing because of the slope, so these are those rivers which keep changing their flow because of change in the topography. Okay, they flow as a consequences of the slope, so the name consequent river. But there are some rivers which may not change their path. Okay, there are some rivers which may not change their path. For example, if this is a river and this is a slope, and over a period of time, let us say the upliftment in the slope is taking place. Okay, upliftment is taking place because of plate tectonics. But the river do not change their path. The river will continue to flow by cutting, by making its own path in that region, by making its own path in that same region. Okay, so this river did not change their slope irrespective of change in the topography. So these rivers are insequent rivers or antecedent rivers. And most of the Himalayan rivers are antecedent in nature. Okay, they have made their own path irrespective of change in the topography. Okay, then subsequent rivers. See, once the consequent river starts, when the consequent river flow as a consequences of the slope, the water from the nearby region, okay, the slope is made much deeper. Okay, and because of that this water will start now flowing along the slope and will join the main river. So this is a consequent river, and these rivers follow after the consequent river have made the path easy for them to flow. So these are the tributaries of the main river. These tributaries are the subsequent river. Okay, subsequent river. And there is one more, obsequent river. If there is a main river which is a consequent in nature, subsequent river and main river, they have same direction of the flow. Okay, and obsequent river have opposite direction of the flow as compared to the consequent river. Okay, for example, the Gilgit river, which is a tributary of the Indus river, is an obsequent river. Okay, so now if we take any of the river, so 4 or 5 parameters, as I had said, all of those 4 or 5 parameters needs to be taken care. Okay, and this can be easily done. Okay, first time effort is that you are supposed to draw the diagram and then you prepare it accordingly. For example, Indus river. Let me first simplify the Indus river, because in the first go it may look very, very difficult. So this is the Indus river. Okay, Indus river. So the Indus drainage system. So this is the main Indus river, which originates in China, flows into India, and ultimately it enters the Pakistan. Okay, then there are tributaries of Indus river. For example, the Jhelum river. Okay, then Chenab river, Beas river, then Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi river, Beas, and then the Satluj river. Okay, so these are those tributaries which passes through India, but there are certain tributaries which is mainly originating in the Pakistan or the Afghanistan region. Okay, for example, Gilgit river, then Khurram, then the Kabul. Okay, so these rivers originates in Pakistan and Afghanistan and joins the Indus river. Majority of the question UPSC have asked is on these rivers. Okay, the Indian rivers. Okay, so Jhelum, then so Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj. So you are supposed to see where are they originating. Where are they originating? The origin point, which states of India they are passing. Okay, and which river is meeting which another river. Okay, so Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, all of these ultimately meets Satluj, and Satluj ultimately meets Indus river in Pakistan. Okay, I hope you're getting this. So now it will be easy for you to understand this map. We'll go one by one. You take the Indus river. Okay, Indus river. And if you see all this information at a time, there is high chances that you may get scared. So first one must draw the outline map of the India and the respective states, then the main river, then the tributaries. Once this is done, then add additional information. So Indus river now. So Indus river originates at Bokarchu glacier in Tibet. Okay, it enters in Tibet. It is known as Singhi Kambam. It is known as Singhi Kambam. Then this enters into the Ladakh region. Then this is the Jammu and Kashmir part. But basically, it is like the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Here it enters into the Pakistan. Okay, and Indus river is later on joined by the other tributaries. Let us majorly do the other tributaries. We have the Jhelum river. Jhelum river originates from the Verinag spring. Okay, then we have Chenab river. So Chenab river, there are two origins, Chandra and Bhaga. Okay, then it enters into the Pakistan. Then Beas river originates at Kullu Hill. Then Ravi, this is the Ravi river. Beas river, Ravi river originates at Kullu Hill. Then Beas river at the Beas Kund. Okay, and the Satluj River do not originate in India. It originates again in China, Rakas Lake. In China, it is known as Langchain Kambam. Okay, Langchain Kambam. It enters into the Himachal Pradesh, then Punjab, and ultimately all of these river meets Satluj River ultimately meets Jhelum. Sorry, it meets Indus River in Pakistan. There are other rivers also, like for example Shyok, Gilgit, Kabul, Khurram, Tochi, Gumal. All of these river also meets Indus River. Now you must take individual river. For example, Jhelum River. So Jhelum River, on the Jhelum River there is an important lake known as Wular Lake. Okay, Very Nag Spring, very close to that is the important tourist destination. This is Srinagar. Then there is this Wular Lake. Then Tulbul Dam is also located on the Jhelum River. Okay, it is a part of this Indus Water Treaty. Next is Chenab. So as I said, there are two origin points, Chandra and Bhaga. So it originates in Himachal Pradesh. It goes into Jammu and Kashmir, then into Pakistan. So in Jammu and Kashmir, there are two projects, Dalhasti and Baglihar project. Dalhasti and Baglihar project. Then Ravi River originates in Kullu, again in Himachal Pradesh, then enters into the Punjab, then into Pakistan. It goes and joins Chenab River. And then finally the Bias River originates in India, that is Himachal Pradesh. There is this important lake, Pong Lake, and then it meets, Bias River meets Satluj River. Bias River don't meet in Pakistan. So originates in Himachal, ends in Punjab. Okay, so it is relatively shorter. And lastly is the Satluj River originates in Rakas Lake. Satluj River is joined by two important tributaries, Spiti and Parichu. Spiti and Parichu. There is an important reservoir, Govind Sagar Reservoir. Last year itself, last year itself, UPSC had asked question on important reservoirs and rivers, reservoir and states, in which state they are located. So certainly reservoirs are mainly on the rivers. So it is very important that you should be doing this reservoir through this tributaries only. And when you do the mapping, you would also understand which state they are located. So Govind Sagar Reservoir is located in Himachal Pradesh on Satluj River. There is a very, very important tidal power project, Bhakra Nangal Dam. Enters into Pakistan and ultimately joins Indus River in Pakistan. Okay, so this much piece of information should be sufficient enough for you to do most of the question related to Indus drainage pattern. Some more information can be added, okay, but provided these 4-5 information is done first. Okay, next is the Brahmaputra River. Okay, so Brahmaputra River, again one must do the same process for this. Okay, so Brahmaputra River, if you can see this. Okay, so Brahmaputra River originates in Tibet. Okay, on Mount Kailash, there is a glacier known as Chemayungdung Glacier. Chemayungdung Glacier, and then it flows almost to the eastward direction. In Tibet, it is known as Sangpo. It is known as Sangpo. Then here at Namcha Barwa, you must have come across this mountain in the Indian physiography question. So Namcha Barwa is a mountain in Tibet. At Namcha Barwa, it takes a sharp U-turn. It was going from west to east, but it took a U-turn shape because of the bending of the Himalayas. Then it enters first into Arunachal Pradesh. In Arunachal Pradesh, it is known as Siang or Dihang. Then it enters into the Assam and then into Bangladesh. Okay, Assam and then Bangladesh. So in India, it flows through two states, that is Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. But the tributaries, there are tributaries that comes from various other states also. So let us look into the tributaries. Tributaries are Subansiri, Kherkutia, Kameng, Manas, Tista. Okay, Subansiri, Khirkutia, Kaming, Manas and Tista. And there are the left bank tributaries, Dibang, Lohit, Dhansiri, Kalang. Dibang, Lohit, Dhansiri and Kalang. So these are important tributaries. In many places it is like written as right bank tributary, left bank tributary. Okay, so far not even one question was asked that which of the above is right bank tributary or left bank tributary. So just the name of the tributary would be sufficient for you to answer the question. Okay, Tista River is important because in 2016 there was a question. This Tista River agreement was signed between India and Bangladesh, and for that purpose it was there in the news and there was a question. Tista River, the origin point of Tista River is Zemu Glacier, which is in Sikkim. Okay, there are other important protected areas. Protected areas are these are National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary, Tiger Reserve, Biosphere Reserve. So in Arunachal Pradesh on Brahmaputra River there is this Dihang Dibang Biosphere Reserve. Okay, then Dibru Saikhowa Biosphere Reserve in Assam. Then Kaziranga National Park over Dhansiri River, Kaziranga National Park, which is a tributary of Brahmaputra. Then the Deepor Bill, which is an Oxbow Lake, is also found in the Assam, close to the Guwahati and Dispur region. Then other important protected area is Pakke Tiger Reserve. There is a question on Pakke Tiger Reserve. Okay, close to the Kameng River. Sonai Rupai National Park. Then Manas River, and on that itself is the Manas Tiger Reserve. Okay. Then Tista River. Then there is a National Park, Neora Valley National Park. There was a prelims question on that also. Okay, so this is relatively more simple and easy, Brahmaputra River. Then when you proceed ahead on the similar way and you do the other rivers also. Like for example, this is the Ganga River. Okay, Ganga River. Now there are many questions on the Indus, but not many questions on Ganga River. Okay, there are many policy related to the Ganga. Okay, because Ganga is a very sacred river. Ganga is one of the biggest river of India, and there is lot of dependency on Ganga River for the irrigation water. Okay, and this river is one of the most polluted river of the world. Okay, so Ganga River, it is expected that there would be a lot of questions, but in last 23 years roughly just 2 or 3 questions was there on Ganga River. Okay, so you must do the Ganga River. Okay, every river should be done this way: tributaries, important cities or important places, protected areas. So what are the tributaries? Just to see the Ganga River path first. So Ganga River originates in Uttarakhand, then passes through Uttar Pradesh, then goes to the Bihar, then Jharkhand. Yes, a small region in Jharkhand also, then West Bengal, and in West Bengal it distributes, and one branch goes to the Bangladesh known as Padma, and the other branch continue in the West Bengal known as Hooghly River. Okay, Hooghly River. Some important tributaries of Ganga River is the Ram Ganga, Gomati, then Ghaggar, tributary of Ghaggar, this Saryu or Sada River, then Karnali, then Rapti River, okay, then Gandak, Budi Gandak, Kosi, then Bhagwati, Mahananda. Okay, these are some important left bank tributaries. Some important right bank tributaries are the very first one, Yamuna River, okay, which is the biggest tributary of Ganga River. Then some tributaries of Yamuna River is Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Kane, Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Kane. Then Ton, then Son River, which originates from Amarkantak. I hope you remember this, Son River. Okay, then Phalgu, Kungbum, Dhaddar, Ajay, Damodar. Yes, there are other minor rivers also, but minor rivers need not be done. UPSC don't go too much into the detail of the minor rivers. Okay, now this region should be emphasized more, because you may expect a question from this region, that is Ganga river. So Ganga river is basically not known Ganga from the very beginning, because there are two origin points. One is the Gangotri glacier, from where Bhagirathi is originating, and the Badrinath glacier, from where this Alaknanda river is originating. Okay, so Gangotri glacier, Bhagirathi, Badrinath, this Alaknanda, and from the Kedarnath, Mandakini river is also originating. And when the Bhagirathi and the Alaknanda joins at Devaprayag, from that point onwards it is known as Ganga. Okay, so here there are multiple tributaries of the Alaknanda river. So these are Dauli Ganga joining at Vishnu Prayag, Nandakini joining at Nandaprayag, Pindari joining at Karna Prayag, Mandakini joining at Rudraprayag, and Bhagirathi joining Alaknanda at Devaprayag. Then there is also this Prayag, wherein Yamuna, when the Yamuna joins Ganga, okay, that confluence of Yamuna and Ganga, that is Prayag. Okay, Prayag. So an important national park, Rajaji National Park, Ganga river passes through it. Then through Jim Corbett National Park, this is Ram Ganga river passes through it. Okay, if we take Yamuna river, yes, there are 2-3 questions on Yamuna river. In fact, Yamuna river, there are many questions as compared to the Ganga. So Yamuna river originates in Uttarakhand, Yamunotri glacier. Okay, and this Yamunotri glacier is over Bandarpunch mountain. Okay, Bandarpunch mountain, Yamuna river is originating. Uttarakhand, then passes through Uttar Pradesh, then Haryana, Delhi, again enters into Uttar Pradesh. Okay, then part of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, a small part of Madhya Pradesh, and further in the Uttar Pradesh at Prayag, it confluences with the Ganga. Some important tributaries of Yamuna river is Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken. Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, Ken. So Chambal river. The Chambal river originates in the Vindhyan range. Okay, Chambal river important tributaries are Shiplar, Banas, Parbati. Shiplar, Banas and Parbati. And on Shiplar there are 3 important reservoirs, that is Gandhi Sagar, Jawahar Sagar, Rana Pratap Sagar. And on Gandhi Sagar 2 questions was asked. Okay, 2 questions on Gandhi Sagar alone, and 1 question was also on the Jawahar Sagar. Okay, so on Gandhi Sagar, on all of these reservoirs, all of these dams, you should mark it very properly. So the question may be on which river it is, or the question may be in which state it is. Okay, on which state it is. So far we haven't seen question on which city it is, but the level 1 information should be known, which state it is. Then another tributary is Sindh, then Betwa, and then the Ken. As you know, the Ken-Betwa interlinking project have been initiated, and this Ken-Betwa interlinking project passes through this Panna Tiger Reserve. Okay, so which is considered a cause of concern by many environmentalists. Okay, then the subsequent tributaries of Ganga river is this Tone, then Son river. The Son river originates at Amarkantak. Important tributaries of Son river is Gopad, Rihand, okay, Koil, and on the Rihand river is Govind Vallabh reservoir. Okay, Govind Vallabh reservoir. Then recently there was also a question on Maithon. So Maithon reservoir, where it is, as you can see here. Okay, so see, in this case, these tributaries like Falgu, Kumbum, Dhaddar, these are not very important. UPSC haven't asked many questions here, not even on the Ajay river, but yes, Damodar river, Damodar Valley Corporation, this is very, very important. So Damodar river originates from Chota Nagpur plateau. So is the case with Rihand and Koil river. Okay, Damodar river and Rihand, Koil, all of these originates from Chota Nagpur. Now the tributaries of the Damodar river. Damodar was considered as a sorrow of the West Bengal because of the frequent flooding. In order to control this flood, plus in order to sustain the iron and steel industries in this region, this multi-purpose project was created. Okay, so these projects are Tilaiya, Maithon, Panchet, Tenu Ghat. Okay, these form the Damodar Valley corporations. Okay, so these are all located in Jharkhand in order to prevent the flooding in West Bengal. Okay, Ganga distributes at this Farakka, okay, into Padma, which go and joins Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. Okay, and the Hooghly river continues and flows to the Calcutta and enters into the Bay of Bengal. So likewise, a student must take a little effort, one-time effort. Okay, one-time effort in making these diagram. Having done this, then revision becomes so easy. First time it will certainly be challenging, but subsequently it is going to be very convenient and easy for you to proceed. So likewise, all the rivers, like you take the case of Mahanadi river, okay, or the Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, all of these rivers should be completed. And irrespective of whether it is there in the news or not, first these major rivers should be done. Major Himalayan rivers, major peninsula rivers, it should be done. Okay, then some miscellaneous thing like rivers originating from Western Ghat, rivers originating from the Eastern Ghats, because these days UPSC is asking some minor questions. Okay, like recently they had asked question on rivers originating in the Eastern Ghat. Okay, so people mainly do the major rivers of peninsula like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Narmada, Tapi, but smaller, and the question was related to river originating in the Eastern Ghat, and all of those were very small rivers. Okay, there are some west flowing rivers, there are some east flowing rivers. Okay, there are some major rivers, some minor rivers. Some major river everyone does, and UPSC knows that majority of the students will do only the major rivers, the tributaries, okay, and other things, but people will not focus more on the minor rivers. So UPSC will ask question there. So having done the major rivers, also look into the minor rivers. For example, you can take this case. All of these rivers are done. The smaller west and the east flowing rivers. So you just make a map of India. First level you do the west flowing rivers like Bhadra, Shatrunji, Sabarmati, Mahi, Daddar, Vaitarna, Mandavi, Zuari, Kali Nadi, Sharavati, Bharatpuja, Periyar, Pamba. These are some minor west flowing rivers. Of course, there is Narmada and Tapi is already there. Okay, so you will have two understanding. One is which river is flowing in the east or the west. Second, you will also know the sequence, north to south sequence of these rivers. Okay, because yes, there was one question related to arranging the rivers in the north to south order. Okay, here some east flowing rivers you can see. So these east flowing rivers, smaller east flowing rivers, major we know Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri, but minors one are Damodar, Subarna Rekha, Baitarni, Brahmani, then Vasamdhara, then Pennar, Palar, Punayyar, Vaigai. Okay, so these are some minor east flowing rivers. So again, you must be knowing which, and one more information you can add is rivers originating in the Western Ghats, river originating in the Eastern Ghat, because there was question here related to Western and the Eastern Ghat. Okay, so likewise try to do for the all the rivers, major, minor rivers also. For minor river, just to do this much: west flowing, east flowing rivers, their sequence. No need to go too much into the detail unless something major is there in the news. Okay, unless something major is there in the news, don't do detail about minor rivers. Okay. So the drainage system should be done this way, and I'm very sure that this year also there will be a question related to the drainage system. As I had already mentioned, two important river, that is the Tigris, okay, and Euphrates is there in the news. So there can be question related to the mapping of these rivers, through which country this river is passing. Okay, through which country this river is passing. That is a very high possibility of dimension, of the question from this river. Or they may ask some cities through which they are passing. Beyond that, it is not expected that UPSC will make the question so difficult. Okay, now it is time that we should proceed with the another important topic, that is the Indian climate. Now, as I was saying, that Indian climate is important, but not many question is being seen from the Indian climate topic. In the last 10 years, only two question was seen, that is this question. Number one, ocean mean temperature. Okay, so this was a new method for the predicting the rainfall. And Indian Ocean Dipole, again, it was there in the news in 2017, so the question was asked. As such, other questions are very simple, quite simple enough, which needs little bit of understanding of the map and the concept. Some of this you already know with respect to the climatology, okay, the monsoon pattern, and here with the understanding of the Indian map, all these questions can be very easily attempted. Now, El Nino is there in the news, and whenever in the past it was there in the news, UPSC had asked question. For example, in 2011, La Nina was there in the news, there was question. Then in 2002, there was this El Nino and Southern Oscillation, there was question. And El Nino Modoki in 2010, question on that. So this year El Nino is again being discussed in the news, and it is expected that El Nino may hit India. So El Nino related question may come. In 2015, there was a question related to the drought, and it was that year when the El Nino influence was very severe, and yes, majority part of the India received deficit rainfall, and there was a crop failure. Because of that, there was a lot of farmer unrest in various parts of India. So on Indian climate, we'll do all of these aspects, the several factors that influences the monsoon. We'll do important jet streams also, as I had said that in the climatology, jet streams have like some significance with respect to the Indian monsoon. So we'll discuss those jet streams here, and then we'll discuss El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean Dipole. Okay, and the climate of India, because climate of India is not only monsoon, it is summer, it is winter also. So we'll discuss them in a nutshell. So with respect to the Indian climate, there are several factors that determine climate of any region, and so is the case with the India also. So location and relief. So latitude wise, yes, we have studied this in climatology also, that as the latitude increases, temperature decreases. As the altitude increases, temperature decreases. Okay, as the latitude increases, climate start becoming more and more extreme. That is, summer is very hot and winter is very, very cold. Then diurnal range of temperature, then the annual range of temperature, that also becomes high enough. Okay, and when you are close to that of the latitude, temperature is high, okay, and the diurnal range of temperature is relatively lesser. So next is the Himalayan mountain. They play a very, very significant role in the Indian monsoon and also prevent India from the cold Siberian current. Then land and water, as you know, the south, the peninsular India is surrounded on 3 sides by the water. So the coastal area, there is moderating effect because of the specific heat. And as you go much in the interior, as the distance keeps on increasing from the sea, the climate becomes more and more continental. So I hope you remember these facts from the climatology. Okay. Factors related to air pressure and wind. Yes, the distribution of the surface air pressure as well as wind also helps in maintaining the heat balance. Then not only the surface air, but even the upper air circulation, that is mainly the jet streams, they also play important role. Then western disturbance, especially during the winter, western disturbance brings some amount of rainfall. Okay. With respect to monsoon, what is monsoon? It is a very deep atmospheric system, and it involves not only the lower troposphere but upper troposphere also. Okay, we have seen the monsoon pattern, that in the summer the monsoon comes and in the winter the monsoon goes. So it's not only just coming and going of the monsoon, there are many factors that influences the monsoon. So monsoon is nothing but the modified trade wind. So the southeast trade wind comes to the north because of the shifting of the ITCZ. So just consider this situation over here. I'm just explaining this northern part because we are associated with the India. This blue one indicates India. So Hadley cell, Ferrel cell, polar cell is being formed accordingly when the sunlight is over the equator. When it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it indicates sun have apparently moved towards the north, and it is at Tropic of Cancer. It can go maximum to Tropic of Cancer. So maximum heat will be there, and these cells, Hadley cell, Ferrel and polar cell, would be squeezed. Okay, and the air circulation, which is, you can see the clockwise over here, the air circulation which is clockwise, it becomes anti-clockwise. So Hadley cell reversal takes place. In this region, try to understand 0 to 30 degree. It was clockwise. In this 0 to 30, it became anti-clockwise. Why? Because of apparent movement of the sun in the north. Okay, just try to correlate this one again over here. This Hadley cell. Okay, this Hadley cell and the sun at the equator. When the sun is at the equator, northeast trade wind, southeast trade wind, they will be meeting at the equator. Equatorial low pressure belts will be created, and these wind is going to meet over here. So the ITCZ is over the equator. On the other hand, when the sun apparent movement is towards the north, it can go up to 23.5 degree north. Okay, so definitely low pressure will be created there, and this trade wind, that is northeast and southeast trade wind, is going to meet here in this low pressure belt region. But the southeast trade wind, as it crosses the equator, it goes in the northern hemisphere. So in southern hemisphere, because of the influence of Coriolis force, it was tilted towards the left. But as it crossed the equator in the northern hemisphere, it is going to get deflected towards the right because of Coriolis force. So the southeast trade wind in the north becomes southwest. Are you understanding this? So southwest monsoon wind is what? It is nothing but the modified southeast trade wind only. I hope you are getting this. It is a modified southeast trade wind. Okay. So the monsoon, some factors that influences. So I hope you have understood this term. It is, monsoon is nothing but the modified trade wind, which one southeast trade wind gets modified into southwest monsoon wind in the north. It is influenced by the land and ocean, specific heat of the land and ocean. Then the upper tropospheric wind, as I was talking about, it's not just the surface wind, but even the surface wind, when it is going, certainly it is going to circulate up also. Yes or no? So the surface wind over here is going to have the circulation. So this upper winds, that is mainly the jet streams. For example, the subtropical westerly jet streams, which is a permanent jet stream, then tropical easterly jet stream, then Somali jet stream. I hope you remember the name of the jet streams at least. We'll understand this influence and their direction all here in this session. Then location and strength. also plays a very important role of ITCZ. ITCZ is what? It is a low pressure belt region, also known as equatorial trough, also known as monsoon trough, also known as the equatorial thermal equator. So when ITCZ is strong means the pressure is very low. Okay, very low pressure. So it is going to attract more of the wind. When ITCZ is not so strong, it is not going to attract the wind. Are you understanding this? So for the better monsoon, for the better attracting of the moisture laden air, ITCZ should be strong enough. Okay, then only it will be able to pull sufficient amount of monsoon with moisture. And ITCZ location is very important. When it is ITCZ is over the India, north part of the India, then low pressure belt is created and the wind is pulled over here. So our ITCZ is not permanent because sun is not permanent at one place. As the sun apparent movement shifts, okay, the ITCZ would also be shifting and the wind is going to approach this ITCZ. So when it is coming in the north, wind is going to come towards the north. When it goes in the south, the wind is going to go in the south. Himalaya plays a very important role. It acts as a climate divide between India and the Central Asia. Okay, it modifies the subtropical westerly jet streams. It is responsible for the western disturbance also. It have some positive influence. It prevents India from the cold Siberian current. Then Tibet plays a very important role, because if there was no Tibet, because heating of the Tibet creates low pressure, and because of this low pressure, monsoon is being pulled. So Tibet acts as a very strong monsoon magnet. Okay, had there been no Tibet, this strong low pressure would not have been created, and such sufficient amounts of monsoon would not have come towards India. So though Tibet is not part of India, but it is playing a very important role in pulling the monsoon towards India. So Tibet, heating of the Tibet should be sufficient enough, okay, so that low pressure is created. Second, ITCZ should be present. ITCZ also help in creating a low pressure. So they both will be creating low pressure and will be pulling the monsoon. Okay, so stronger the heating, better is the pulling. So we have already seen this pattern during the summer. Tibet becomes hot, the Indian peninsula part becomes hot, and then they create a low pressure, and southern hemisphere it is winter, so there is high pressure there. So wind from high pressure moves towards the low pressure region and getting respectively influenced by the Coriolis force. Okay, and when it is winter in the northern hemisphere, that is when it is winter in the India, it is summer in the south. ITCZ had shifted in the south, so ITCZ low pressure belt, so these monsoon wind is also going to go and approach this ITCZ, and in that case it is going to go away from India. So this is northeast monsoon, which brings precipitation mainly along the eastern coastal part of the India, and the southwest monsoon mainly brings precipitation on the western coastal part of India, and majority of the regions of India, because it branches into the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch, which supplies water to 80% of the water in India. Is 80% of the rainfall we receive from the southwest monsoon. Now let us take those jet streams, and let us take other factors like El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean dipole, Mid-Julian oscillation. Let us take all of these factors and let us see whether they play a positive role or whether they play a negative role. Okay, so subtropical jet streams. I hope you remember there was a polar jet stream also. Do you remember there was 2 jet stream in north, 2 jet stream in the south? Okay, so polar jet stream is very far, that does not play any role in the Indian monsoon. Okay, the subtropical jet stream in the northern hemisphere, which flows over India also, they play an important role. So see the relative location of the subtropical jet stream. It flows from west towards east. This is the upper air, upper troposphere. Okay, so here in this case Himalaya divides them. One is the northern branch, one is the southern branch. Okay, so in the southern branch, so when it is present over India, when it is present above India, so it is going to exert pressure over India. it is going to exert pressure and is going to create high pressure over India. So subtropical jet stream creates high pressure over northern India or south of the Himalayas. So tell me, if there is a high pressure do not attract the wind, no? It is a low pressure which attracts the wind. So when the subtropical jet stream is present over India, it will create high pressure, which is bad for the monsoon. So when the subtropical jet stream is not present here to the south of the Himalaya, then it is good. So it means it needs to go away. Okay, so that a low pressure is created over here and wind is attracted. So how will it go away? See, it will go away. Now in this case, in summer, okay, usually in winter, this yellow one is the subtropical jet stream which is present over India. It is going to create high pressure. But when the summer approaches, when the sun is present over India, so what happens is subtropical jet stream shifts to the north of the Himalaya. Okay, it is shifted towards the north of the Himalaya. So south of the Himalaya, that is over India, low pressure is created, and north of the Himalaya, that is over Tibet, subtropical jet stream is creating a high pressure. But because of the sun and the Tibet, there is a low pressure also. So there is high pressure, low pressure both in the Tibet, and India pe low pressure is there. This low pressure, high pressure is kind of mixture, and it is not creating a strong low pressure system. So the subtropical jet stream needs to further go in the north. Okay, it must be going further in the north, so that a very strong low pressure is created over Tibet. Okay, so basically what will happen is, if there is a high pressure over the Tibet, it will divert the wind away from that of the India, and it will be creating a wall kind of mechanism for the monsoon wind. So low pressure is attracting the wind, but a high pressure over the Tibet is preventing the wind from coming. Okay? So this high pressure must go, so that this prevention, this door will be opened and the monsoon will come towards India. So how will it go? Much to the north. That is again, the apparent movement of the sun is going to throw it much in the north. So when the subtropical jet streams go much in the north of the Tibet also, Tibet becomes hot enough, and this barrier, this high pressure which was preventing this monsoon from coming, this will be gone, and monsoon will start with a sudden outburst. Okay, it will start with a sudden outburst. So the outburst or the onset of the monsoon is very sudden, but further advancement of the monsoon is gradual, which means when the monsoon comes on the very first, second day, it is very sudden, and the subsequent days it is gradually coming. Okay, and in between what may happen is this subtropical jet stream is not permanent. It keeps shifting. So if it shifts to the north, good. If it shifts back to the south, and towards Tibet or towards that of the India, it is bad. So when they are present, they will create high pressure and it will prevent the monsoon again. So at times you must have noticed that the rainfall is not there for a few days. So subtropical jet stream must have moved towards the south. That is the reason why high pressure is created. That is the reason why this wind is being prevented. Okay, so when the rainfall do not happen for a few days, okay, this is called as monsoon breaks, and this fluctuation is because of apparent shifting of the subtropical jet streams. Okay, if this subtropical jet streams remain for a longer period in south of India, then monsoon break will be for the longer period, and it may cause a drought-like situation. Okay, so for subtropical jet streams, we can conclude that its present over the India is bad for the monsoon. For a good monsoon, it must be going much to the north of the Himalayas, or to the better it would be, it goes away from that of the Tibet also. Okay, I hope you have understood this phenomena. Okay, next is we have already understood southwest and the northeast monsoon, their pattern. Okay, let us try to understand this same diagram this is a surface wind. So when the wind is coming, where it is going? It is going to create a loop. Are you understanding this? So it is coming, it is going up, then upper air circulation. Okay, so in this way it is creating a loop. So just try to see some important region. This is a low pressure region, this is the high pressure region. Okay, this is a high pressure region and this is the low pressure region. So the wind is moving from high pressure towards low pressure. So this region, for the reference purpose, masculine, where the instruments, okay, or the observatory system are located for the measurement of the high pressure or for the better understanding of the monsoon. So masculine as a reference point is taken. Masculine pe high pressure will be there. Okay, and more high pressure here means more divergence of wind from here towards India. Yes or no? More high pressure in the masculine, more divergence of wind towards the India. So high pressure at the masculine is good. Okay, high pressure at the masculine is good. So just try to understand this monsoon in the south hemisphere, equator and the north hemisphere. South hemisphere, equator and the north hemisphere. So here since Himalaya is there, it is not going to cross, it is going to go up and it is going to form this type of circulation upwards. I hope you are understanding this. So there is this high pressure over the masculine, okay, and low pressure over the northern India. Okay, so greater the high pressure, better the divergence of wind towards India. Okay, so masculine high is good. And when the high pressure is not so strong, not much of the wind will be diverted towards India. So this is another way through which the monsoon is predicted, whether it is going to be good in the coming days or it is going to be bad enough. When the monsoon is retrieving back, so it is going to be high pressure in this region and the reverse will happen, that is low pressure over this region. Okay, so when the monsoon is going back, high pressure over in India and low pressure over this masculine region. Okay, taking the moisture away from India, and the southeastern part of the India receives some rainfall. This is what we had discussed earlier also. Next is this African easterly jet streams or tropical easterly jet stream. African easterly jet stream or tropical easterly jet stream. Just try to understand the same diagram again. We had seen that high pressure in the south, low pressure in the north. So the wind is going to come towards India, and over India it is going to form this type of circulation. Okay, of course this is much to the south, so this type of circulation is being formed. But this circulation, okay, this circulation, that is this upper wind that is coming, okay, and exerting a high pressure over India, this upper wind, because of the Coriolis force, that will also be deflected where? Towards its right. Okay, so it is coming from high pressure region towards low pressure region, but it will be deflected towards its right. And from below, the wind is moving from high pressure towards low pressure region this way. So this is basically the tropical easterly jet stream या फिर African jet stream. Tropical easterly jet stream या फिर African jet stream. And if it is strong enough, it is going to exert a stronger high pressure. Yes or no? It is going to exert a stronger high pressure. So a strong tropical jet stream is going to exert or increase the high pressure of masculine. This is going to force more wind towards India. So what is the influence of the African easterly jet streams or tropical easterly jet streams? It is positive. When they are strongly present, more wind will be diverted towards India. And what is the influence of subtropical jet streams? The earlier one that we saw, if it is present over India, it is going to create high pressure and it will be bad for the monsoon. Okay, so next jet stream. This is the same diagram again. This is the wind that is coming towards India, the surface wind, and this is the upper winds that is going from the India towards this high pressure region. So stronger this jet stream, better it is for the monsoon. And this is set only during the monsoon time. It is not permanent. Okay, it is not permanent. So it is also considered as a local wind. okay, local jet streams. Okay, then lastly we have the Somali jet stream, Somalia. So Somalia, just for try to understand this diagram. So over here it is India, this is the Arab region, okay, West Asia, and this is Africa. Okay, this is Africa, and this is the Somalia region. This is the Somalia. In the Somalia region there is a desert, okay, the Ogaden desert. So this desertic region during the summer, creates low pressure. Okay, because desert hai, so it is going to become very hot during the summer. When it is hot, the air will be rising upward, so below, low pressure will be created. Okay, so a low pressure will be created in this region. So there is a low pressure in India also, there is a low pressure created here also. Okay, so what will happen is two circulation will start, and there is a high pressure here. So one circulation of the air is this way, okay, towards India, okay, towards India, and one circulation of air is in this Somalia region, Mascarene se Somali region. Just try to understand Mascarene, Madagascar and the Somali. Just try to understand this diagram. This is Mascarene, Somali, and in between this is this Indian Ocean. Okay, so what will happen is Mascarene pe high pressure is there, Somali pe because of summer low pressure is there, so low pressure wind is going to rise, and Mascarene pe it is going to be high pressure. So the wind is going to move from high pressure towards low pressure. So certainly this upper wind is going to exert a high pressure here. It is going to exert a high pressure here. So in that case, Mascarene high pressure is going to become stronger. Yes or no? And a strong high pressure over the Mascarene is good for India. So you may think that some of the moisture may be given here. Yes, it is true, but majority of the moisture will be given over here. Why? Because the low pressure is here also, the high pressure is over here. Okay, so the wind is going to move from high pressure towards low pressure. So here also. But which is the stronger low pressure? This region is the stronger low pressure because of Tibet. I hope you're understanding this. So this is going to attract more of the moisture. It is going to attract more of the moisture. So the Somali jet stream is going to increase high pressure in this region, which is favoring India. Okay, so the Somali jet stream is a local jet stream, okay, set in during the monsoon time, and it is going to have a positive impact over India. So we saw three jet stream. One was subtropical jet stream, negative influence over India. Then African easterly jet stream, positive influence over monsoon, and Somali jet stream, positive influence over the monsoon. I hope these things are clear. Okay, now comes the El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean dipole. So El Nino, La Nina. So first, before proceeding ahead with the El Nino, La Nina, we will first understand the normal conditions, the normal atmospheric circulation in this region. So what is a normal phenomena? First, try to understand this diagram, and then we'll proceed ahead. Okay, so this is India, and this is India, this is the Asian region, Australia, this is the Pacific Ocean, North America and South America. Okay, North America and the South America. So just try to understand. I hope you have understood the region at least. Okay, India, the Southeast Asian region, Australia, North America, South America, Pacific Ocean. Okay, and we know the normal flow of the monsoon wind is this way. Okay, high pressure towards low pressure, the normal flow of the monsoon. Now this is the phenomena that is taking place in the Indian Ocean region, but there is a phenomena that is taking place in the Pacific region also. So do you remember trade winds, southeast trade wind? So as it is blowing over the ocean, the ocean current also start moving in this direction. I hope you remember the oceanography and climatology. So the trade wind, as it is blowing over the ocean, it is going to drag this water towards the west of the Pacific Ocean. So there will be accumulation of the water here in this region. So this is the warm water. Warm water is more accumulated where? West of Pacific. East of Pacific mein what will happen is cold water from below is going to rise up, upwelling zone. Okay. So here in this region what happens is that as a warm water pile up over here, so warm water evaporation will be taking place and precipitation will happen in that region. Okay, so as the wind is coming here, it is rising upward and it will form this circulation. So as the wind is rising over here, low pressure is created. As the cold water is coming over here, high pressure is created. So an upper air circulation which is known as a worker circulation is created, okay, between these 2 points. For the reference purpose, it is taken as this point as Tahiti and this as a Darwin, which is the north part of the Australia. Okay. So between these 2 points, this high pressure, low pressure phenomena is happening, and the water circulation is happening this way. Okay, the warm water from east to the west and the cold water from below west to east, upwelling takes place. So this is the normal circulation. And how do this phenomena in Pacific influence the phenomena of the Indian Ocean? See, as the monsoon is in this order, okay, and this trade wind is also moving in this order. Okay, so it is going to have an assistive role. Okay, it is going to assist the monsoon. Okay, because low pressure is here also, so the wind is certainly going to assist the monsoon. So in that condition, it is going to have a normal precipitation. Okay, normal precipitation, and over this region, it is going to be like relatively more dry. Okay, it is going to be more dry. So moist over here, dry over here. Okay, now in this region, the marine upwelling is also taking place. So because of that, the nutrients supply will be there, and because of that, there will be a good fishing. Okay, now what happens during the abnormal condition? Same region, but exaggeration of the normal condition, exaggeration. So just try to understand that when the piling up of the water is taking place over here, the water is piling over here. Now because of that pile up, what happens is a kind of slope is created. The water is piled up over here, a kind of slope is created, and the trade wind which was piling up this water, okay, the trade wind do not have sufficient energy to continue to keep hold of this water here only. The slope is created and the trade wind is not able to push it further. So what happens is trade wind weakens. Trade wind will become weak as this warm water will slide along the path and will come all the way to the east of Pacific Ocean. Okay, it will come to the east of this Pacific Ocean. Okay, but that is the reversal of the phenomena. But during normal phenomena, what we saw, that the piling of the water will take place. When the more water is piled up over here, so what will happen is more of the rainfall will take place. Okay, more of the rainfall will take place. So this is a worker circulation only, but this worker circulation have become very, very strong. So strong low pressure over here. So what will happen is more moisture will be deprived from here and will be given in this region and assisting the Indian monsoon further. So Indian monsoon is going to become more stronger. Okay, it will receive more moisture and surplus rainfall will be there, and it may cause flood-like situation. When there is a surplus water in some region, it is because of deficiency of water from some other region. So this region will be facing drought-like condition. Okay, drought-like condition, but this is not going to sustain for long. Okay, so this situation where there is a surplus rainfall, okay, is termed as La Nina. So La Nina is nothing but exaggeration of the normal condition, but as I said, it is not going to sustain for long. So what will happen is this water along the slope will come back. The water along the slope will come back because trade wind will find it very difficult to continue to push this ocean current along the slope. So the water will slide along its path, and the warm water will come towards the east of the Pacific Ocean. Okay, the warm water will come to the east of the Pacific Ocean. Now over here the warm water evaporation will take place, and the circulation of the air will be, the reversal of the water circulation will be taking place, and the upwelling will be along the west coast, and the circulation of the ocean will be accordingly. So there is a complete reversal of the water circulation plus reversal of this ocean bottom water as well. So in this case, what will happen is a low pressure will be created here and the high pressure will be created. So this region is going to receive good amount of the precipitation. This region will be facing the water crisis, drought-like condition, and our monsoon will continue to flow in this way. But what will happen is some of the moisture will be taken away and it will be given to the east of the Pacific. And because of that, there will be deficiency of the monsoon. Okay, deficiency at some place will lead to surplus in some other region. Okay, so it will be creating flood-like situation in the west of the South America, and it will cause drought-like situation in Australia and India. So this situation wherein there is deficiency of this rainfall because of this circulation in the Pacific Ocean, this is the El Nino. Okay, this is the El Nino, also known as the Christ child or boy. And the frequency of this El Nino, La Nina is not every year. It's not an every year phenomena. It takes somewhere between 2 to 8 years. Okay, last time it was in 2015, and 2024 it is predicted that El Nino is going to hit. Okay, now this have got hit the newspaper because of El Nino. What is going to be the impact of El Nino on India? We have understood now. What is going to be the impact of El Nino upon that of Amazon rainforest? So we know Amazon rainforest is in the South America. Okay, South America. So it is going to be a low pressure in this region. Okay, it is going to be a low pressure in this region, west of the South America, low pressure, so a good rainfall condition. But in the case of east of the South America, so east of the South America, there will be like the high pressure conditions. So this is the low pressure, so it will attract wind from everywhere. Yes or no? It is going to attract wind from everywhere, from here also, from here also. So it is going to attract wind. Okay, and the high pressure will be created in this region. When there is high pressure created in this region, their rainfall in this region will be deficit. Yes or no? The rainfall in this region will be deficit, and this rainforest will not receive sufficient amount of the rainfall, and there will be drought-like condition, and there can be forest fire. So the impact of the El Nino is not only upon the Indian subcontinent, but it is also on the Amazon rainforest. Okay, so here you must try to correlate, because recently it is there in the news. Amazon the rainforest is predicted to is expected to have forest fire in the coming few months. Okay, a new type of El Nino known as El Nino Modoki. El Nino Modoki is a situation wherein there is two water circulation. The warm water is not either on the west or the east coast of the Pacific Ocean. It is in the center. So the warm water will the water vapor, okay, will create two circulations. Majority of the rainfall will happen in the central part of the Pacific Ocean. Okay, what we have understood is the high pressure and low pressure phenomena between the east of the Pacific Ocean, west of the Pacific, that is mainly in the southern part, okay, is between these two regions. So there is an oscillation phenomena, okay, and when it is El Nino, okay, when it is El Nino associated with this southern oscillation, we consider this as ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation. Okay. Now, how is this impact of this El Nino upon the hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean? Hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean. So just try to understand. El Nino. El Nino is a low pressure on the east of Pacific Ocean. So when there is a low pressure over here, in this case, what will happen is the low pressure is going to create a wind shear effect in this this region also. And the hurricanes is what? Basically, it is a low pressure atmospheric system, and in order to remain strong enough, the axis of rotation should be vertical, and because of this low pressure phenomena, what happens is wind shear effect is going to make this hurricane weak enough. So when there is this El Nino, okay, hurricanes is weaker. But when there is El Nino Modoki, so what will happen is the El Nino Modoki, the low pressure is in the central part of this Pacific Ocean. So if it is low pressure over here, it is going to be high pressure on the adjacent side, and hurricanes in the is a low pressure atmospheric system. Okay, so the wind shear effect will not be there, and when the wind shear effect is not there, it can gain sufficient strength. Okay, and there will be like a strong hurricanes or increased number of the hurricanes also. So with the El Nino, the number of hurricanes will be reduced, okay, and the strength will also be reduced. With El Nino Modoki, it is going to increase. Next is this Indian Ocean dipole. Dipole is basically two poles. So which are these two poles? Where is this phenomena taking place? So it is in the Indian Ocean. Between the two poles, one pole is Bay of Bengal, another pole is Arabian Sea. So what happens is alternate heating and cooling of the Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal also have some influence upon the Indian monsoon. So when it is a Bay of Bengal which is relatively cool enough as compared to the Arabian Sea, so it is going to exert a high pressure over here and a low pressure over here. So the wind is going to blow from high pressure towards low pressure, and circulation like this is set in. Okay, and now what is the influence of the Indian monsoon? As the Indian monsoon is moving over this region, so it is already having a low pressure region over here, and it is going to receive some moisture and give it to the India. Okay, so it will in turn have additional rainfall. The precipitation will be surplus. It is advantageous for the India. So this situation wherein the low pressure is over, the warming of the Arabian Sea is taking place, and it is assisting more rainfall in India. This is positive Indian Ocean dipole. See, surplus at some place is compensated by deficiency at some other place. So in the north of the Australia, it is moisture will be deprived, and this region is going to face drought-like condition. So positive for India is negative for Australia. In the case of negative Indian Ocean dipole, what happens is it is a Bay of Bengal warming and cooling of the Arabian Sea. So high pressure, low pressure will be created. Wind is going to move from high pressure towards low pressure. So some of the moisture from the Arabian Sea is diverted towards this Bay of Bengal region, and the Indian monsoon, when it is moving in this order, some moisture will be deprived from the Indian monsoon, and the Indian region will be receiving less amount of this rainfall. And when it is El Nino plus negative Indian Ocean dipole, it is going to create a more severe condition, drought-like condition, which will be followed by forest fire. So if it is deficiency at some place, so it is surplus at some. So the north of the Australia will have sufficient rainfall, and it may also be flood-like condition. So here, when multiple phenomena can collectively work and may produce different result. When it is El Nino and positive Indian Ocean dipole, so they both will try to counter each other. When it is El Nino and negative Indian Ocean dipole, both is going to decrease the precipitation in India and may cause drought-like condition. When it is La Nina and positive Indian Ocean dipole, they both assist because both is responsible for increasing the precipitation, so it will create flood-like condition in India. La Nina and negative Indian Ocean dipole, they will try to balance each other. Okay, so overall monsoon is influenced by several factors, and monsoon may weaken because of several factors, like when the ITCZ is not very strongly developed. ITCZ is low pressure. Low pressure is very important for the development of the strong monsoon. When the Tibet is not sufficiently heated, when the subtropical jet stream is present over the India, that is south of the Himalaya, when the high pressure over the Mascaline is not so strongly developed, when it is weakly developed, when there is El Nino, when there is negative Indian Ocean dipole, all of these play a negative role in the Indian monsoon. Okay. Now let us proceed with the Midden-Julian oscillation. This is not so much in the news, but still, you never know. UPSC may ask question, so just one or two line of understanding will be sufficient for you to attempt a question. Midden-Julian oscillation. So in this case, see, in the equatorial region, the warm water moves in the eastward direction. The warm water moves in the eastward direction between two equatorial currents. So when the warm water is moving, so warm water will be responsible for creating a low pressure, because evaporation and precipitation will be taking place. So as the warm water moves, so this low pressure will be created in this region, and precipitation will occur along these regions. Okay. So when the warm water is over here towards the west of the Indian Ocean, and when the monsoon is moving, we will receive some moisture. But if it had moved ahead, the Indian monsoon will continue to flow in this region. It will not receive some extra moisture. Okay, it will not receive extra moisture. And then what happens is, this having reached to the easternmost part, again it will start. Okay, again it will move to the east, again it will start and move to the east. So whenever this warm water is present to the west, or those region which is under the influence of the monsoon, we will receive some extra moisture. So it will be positively helping. When it have moved, then it may not give us extra moisture. So in this case, this cycle to happen, it will take roughly 30 days or 45 days. So after every 30 days, we may receive extra moisture. 45 days we may receive extra moisture. Okay, so when it is taking 30 days for the cycle to complete, then the frequency will be more, and more number of times extra moisture will be received. When the cycle is completing in 45 days, then there will be less frequency of the cycle, and we will receive extra moisture very less number of times. Okay, so I hope the Indian monsoon is getting cleared. Now, hot weather season, cold weather season quickly, and then we will proceed with the last thing, that is the stamp and the Köppen classification of the Indian region. So hot weather season. So during the hot weather season, so low pressure is created over that of the India, and the subtropical jet streams would have moved much to the north of the Himalayas. ITCZ is present over the India. Okay, and because of very high temperature, what happens is, because of high temperature, the convection, a strong convective current would be taking this hot air upwards, and over there the formation of the hailstorms can take place before the monsoon itself. So before the monsoon, somewhere in February, April, there can be a strong hailstorm over north part of India, not all over India. Okay, so summer is associated with the high rainfall, creation of the low pressure. Okay, and monsoon trough is created. At the same time, it is also helpful in creating a local jet stream, that is the African easterly jet stream. When it is the cold weather condition, so cold weather conditions, we know the subtropical jet stream is set over India, and this is responsible for creating high pressure over India. At the same time, some moisture from the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, this is being taken. Okay, and this moisture is given to India, especially the northwestern part of the India, that is Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, north of Rajasthan, west of UP, Haryana, and Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal, Uttarakhand will be gaining the snowfall. And this rainfall, will continue along the path of the Ganga River, and it may extend up to the Assam. So even the Assam may receive this rainfall during the winter. Okay, Assam may receive a rainfall during the winter. So here this winter rainfall is very helpful for the Rabi crops. Okay, very helpful for the Rabi crops. This is the average annual rainfall in the India. As you can see, the western part of the Western Ghat and this southeastern part of the peninsula, plus majority of the northeastern part and some regions in the Indian peninsula receive sufficient amount of the rainfall. And as we move away from the coastal area, the amount of the precipitation keeps decreasing. Now the Indian region is basically divided for the climatical understanding. This division of this Indian climate was basically attempted by several geographers. Okay, for a better understanding, let us keep the thing simplified. So initially it was attempted by Stamp, which is not broadly used. So Stamp classification of climatic region of India. So what did he do is he classified the whole of India. He divided the whole of India into the climatic regions, and this basis of division of the India was the mean monthly temperature for the month of January. And he used 18 degrees Celsius isotherm for that. So basically isotherm is that place having the similar temperature. So during January, those places having 18 degrees Celsius, what he did, he joined it with the line, and he said to the north of this there is one climatic region, and to the south of that is another climatic region. So north of this 18 degrees Celsius isotherm he declared as a tropical or continental India, and south of that he declared as a tropical India. Further, in the north, in the tropical region, he did further division, that is Himalayan region, northwestern region, arid lowland, then the region of moderate rainfall, transitional zone. And in the tropical India, he further divided the region with very heavy rainfall, region with heavy rainfall, moderate rainfall, Konkan, Malabar and Tamil Nadu region. Okay, and accordingly the average temperature and the annual rainfall was noted. Now, what was his method of classification of the Indian climatic region was the mean monthly temperature of January. Okay, and dividing the India broadly into temperate and tropical. So this division of the classification of the Indian climatic region was not very appreciated, because it was considered that it is not based on a lot of facts or a lot of understanding. For a better classification, more information, more data should be used. Then the classification will become relatively more accurate. So Köppen, he used mean monthly and annual temperature and precipitation both. Mean monthly and annual temperature of mean monthly and annual temperature and precipitation both. And Stamp had used only temperature and only the month of January. Okay, and so certainly he would be getting more data, and more better classification could have been done. He classified Indian climatic region into 5 major groups, and these were humid and dry climate. A, C, D, E were those regions with having humid climate, and B is that region having dry climate. Okay, and further micro level classification was done, and he used the capital and the small alphabets for the better classification, wherein A, C, D, E indicates humid climate and B indicates dry climate. Further, small f indicates the no dry season, small m indicates monsoon climate, W indicates winter season, S indicates summer dry season. On the other hand, A indicates hot summer, C indicates cool summer. Okay, W and S we have already done. Then G indicates Ganges type of annual march of the temperature. Okay, H indicates average annual temperature under 18 degree. Okay, so likewise he used capital and a small letter. Now question, if it comes, it will come on this Köppen classification. Only two type of question can come. One, first is like what was the basis, what was the criteria that was used for the classification. So he used mean monthly data of temperature and precipitation. Okay, monthly as well as annual. Okay, and he classified into 5 major groups. A, C, D, E were humid climate and B was dry climate. And further he used a small symbols, small letters or small alphabets for the micro level classification. This is one type of question. Second question is UPSC may give this word, this code, okay, and it will tell you to elaborate the name of this climatic region. Okay, so we can do, for example, A indicates humid or dry. We just saw A indicates humid, and W indicates, yes, W indicates that winter, yes, winter is dry. W indicates winter is dry. So this is that region which is having humid climate. Winter is dry means summer is wet. So this region receives rainfall during summer. This region receives rainfall during summer. Winter is dry. Can we try with AS? A is humid, yes, and S is summer is dry. So summer is dry, matlab winter is wet. Are you understanding this? So this region receives rainfall during winter. Okay. Can you try one more? AMW indicates humid, M is monsoon, and W indicates winter is dry. So this is that region. This is that region where your humid climate is there. Okay. M indicates monsoon type of climate and W indicates winter is dry. It means the rainfall is during the summer. So likewise, UPSC may give you the letter code and will try to ask you what is the climatical type or what is the characteristic of that code. So likewise, the question can come, only 2 questions. Okay, if it wants to make it difficult, it will give you this code and will ask you. So just remember, the capital letters and the small letters, just one keyword you just remember, and UPSC, if it frames question, you will be in a position to answer it. Okay, now it is time that we have done the Indian climate also, and a subsequent topic will be Indian vegetation. Whatever is the climatical condition seen will be the vegetation, yes or no? So like we did the world biomes, we'll do Indian biomes. Okay.